Hello, this is Miss Candy from TPOT Media. Welcome to Dark X. You understand? Dark. Yes.
Peace, folks, and welcome back to another edition of the Prophet of Thought series right here on the old TPOT YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why you are here. Tonight, y'all know it's Wednesday night, so it will be a Dark X night. Dark X Live, and y'all know how these Dark X's go. I usually round up some of the usual suspects, and we get up on here, man, and we get at a topic. And tonight's topic will be, who's your daddy? Now, the reason why I titled it that particular title, I'll explain it to you. Often we hear about children. We talk about this a lot in Black society. We often hear the talk of who's responsible for these children, these illegitimate children in a particular geographical location in Black society. And when we have these discussions, the discussion usually end up saying that it's usually said that these children are the responsibility of men who have left the community. They should come back to the community and look out for these children, mentor these children, teach these children. And in some instances, you even have people telling you that men should come back and take care and provide for these children. But what's often left out of this conversation is not only the men who procreated with these women to have these children. Oftentimes, we leave out their mothers. The parents of these children hardly ever get mentioned. We like to say that the community is responsible for these children. We like to say people who have money, who have left the hood, are responsible for these children. But I never hear anybody say their mother is responsible for these children. I never hear anyone say their fathers are responsible for these children. And I think that's a problem. There's a problem with that. So tonight we're going to get at it because I believe that when you have, excuse me, y'all, when you have children who are growing up in these bad conditions, when you have children who are growing up in poverty, growing up in a destitute environment, going to bad schools, living in bad neighborhoods, so on and so forth, you have to ask yourself, what are the parents of these children doing? Now, I know everybody may get mad and be like, oh, X, shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to say it tonight. What are the parents' responsibility to these children? What is these children's mothers' responsibility and or culpability as far as the children are concerned? What about their fathers? Now, it's good that people want to get into the community and into these ghettos within Black society and hoods, whatever you want to call them. And they want to get in there and they want to do things for the children. They want to mentor them. They want to start programs. They want to do this. They want to do that. But I believe that at some point, we have to hold these parents accountable to a degree. I mean, their mothers and their fathers. Because we can't just look at these situations with all of these children running around, with all of these children lacking structure, lacking family, lacking any type of stable or stability, I should say, lacking any type of stability in their life. We can't just run in and say, okay, we're going to save them. Now, mind you, children are innocent. It's not their fault that they're living in poverty. It's not their fault that their mamas ain't shit. It's not their fault that their old daddies ain't shit. Children are innocent, okay? They are the innocent ones in this equation, but their parents are not. Now, you often hear it said that, some people, they don't have the tools. They don't understand what to do. They don't have the proper guidance or training to do what they need to do with these children. And I say to that, I say, well, it's time for them to get some. So tonight, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about how we need to be making these parents of these children more responsible for these children. Now, I know it's going to make some people mad tonight. Some people are going to be upset tonight with the things that they hear. They're going to be upset tonight about how we come across and how we deliver it tonight. I know, because that's kind of how it goes down on Dark X Live. All right, that's how it goes down. I mean, we come straight with the raw truth. We don't cut corners. I mean, and we talk about things the way I feel they should be spoken about. Because we got a crisis, man. We have a crisis on our hands. We have a crisis in Black society. And oftentimes, what I think happens is we have a tendency to tap dance around particular things, especially when it comes to children and children who are underprivileged and poor, and children who are not being taken care of the right way. But we have to address this because, like I always say, when we talk about Black society's future, children are it. Okay. Children are it. And I do not believe that we should be letting these children's parents off the hook. I don't. I don't give a damn what the situation is. I mean, we're never going to solve anything by feeling sorry for folks. We're never going to solve anything by pitying folks. We're not. We're not going to solve these things, folks. We're not. I mean, we can all subscribe to the fantasy that, you got women with a bunch of kids and the fathers ain't around. The fathers are in jail, they're dead, they smoke crack, they whatever, just don't want to be bothered with the kids. So we need to come in and feel sorry for these women in order to help the children. We need to feel sorry for these neighborhoods in order to help the children. I think that we've done that enough. So it's time to try something new. It's time to attack this problem from the core. All right. So, what we're going to do tonight, we're going to ask the question, who's your daddy? Now, what do I mean when I say, who's your daddy? Well, I mean just that. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Because, see, what I think we should be doing. Peace. What's going on, brother B.M.T?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
I'm just running my mouth, man, waiting for the brothers to file in.
Well, I made it. I ran here to get on time this time.
Yeah, man, you first, man. First through the door. First through the door, brother. You know, it's always an honor to have you here, my brother.
Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Absolutely. I was just telling the folks that often we talk about children, and usually, it's within the context of baby mamas and how people should come back into the community and help these children and this, that, and the other thing. But what we often leave out, when we talk about this stuff is we often leave out these children's parents. We never say their mama has to take some responsibility for these children. We never say their fathers have to take responsibility for these children. So I think tonight we're going to drill down on this, man. We're going to drill down in it. We're going to drill down in it deep. And we're going to make a lot of folks mad, I'm sure. But it's okay. The greatest lessons, like my old man used to tell me, the greatest lessons are usually the hardest lessons to learn. Okay. The most important messages are usually the hardest to hear. So we're gonna drill down on this tonight, man, and hopefully we get some greater understanding about this crisis. Okay, because it is a crisis, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's a crisis, and I'll say this again: the children are innocent, but I believe that their parents are not. Okay, they are not innocent. They're not just they're just not a symptom of the problem. And many times they are the very core of the problem. And I need people to understand that. I need people to understand that usually the parents are at the core of the problem. Yeah, I know, people have bad circumstances, things happen in their life, things come up, people hit hard times, they hit a streak of bad luck and all that kind of stuff. I understand that. I do, because it's happened to me, okay, throughout my lifetime. I understand that. But at the same time, at some point, man, we have to hold people responsible for their own shit. And what I say is we also have to hold people responsible for their own children. We have to. We can't make everybody else responsible for other folks' children.
Right.
We can't do that. That's not the answer. That may be a part of the answer, but that's not the whole answer, man. Where we just say, oh, you know, come into these neighborhoods and do all this shit for these kids. No, what we need to be questioning is, what are these women doing for these kids? What are these men doing that have impregnated these women with these kids? You understand? So that's what I want to talk about tonight. And I titled the show, Who's Your Daddy? And the reason why I titled the show, Who's Your Daddy, is because I would like to ask these women, first and foremost, what are you doing to make sure that, number one, these children know who their father are? Number two, what are you doing to make sure that these men are in these children's lives? Now, mind you, I've often seen where you have a brother who wants to be in his children's life. He loves his children. He wants to be around his children. He wants to raise his children. I've seen those situations go all the way left, where these women won't even let these brothers see these children. Okay. And this is a brother who wants to be in these children's lives. Now, on the flip side of that, you have brothers who have made it painfully obvious that they don't want to be bothered with the children at all. And these women are chasing these brothers down. Yeah, they're chasing them down and telling them, you got to come see your son, you got to come see your daughter. So I think there's a disconnect there.
Yes, sir.
So I was talking to my man Jay Shine the other day. He'll be up here pretty soon too. And I was telling him, I said, it's time to develop a father squad. And this father squad that I'm talking about may be kind of controversial, but I think that it would have a good effect on certain pockets of Black society. Now, let me explain to everybody what the father squad is. The father squad would be a group of brothers who, number one, go to these women and find out who the daddy of these babies are, right? And if he's a brother who willfully does not want to be bothered with these children, we go and we not only try to talk some sense into this brother, I think we also should shame this brother, because what he's doing is making the rest of us look bad. Now, if he doesn't want to be bothered with the children at all, if he says, okay, I just don't want to be bothered with the children, fine. I don't think we should force him to be bothered with the children. What we have him do, you don't want to be bothered with these children, sign over your parental rights. That's it. That's it. You don't have nothing to do with the children. We don't want to see you around. None of that. Right? Also, what the father squad would do is put these mothers' feet to the fire as well. Because, see, we want her. She has to let us know who these babies' daddies are. She has to tell us if she wants help. If we have programs, if we have, say we have a youth center for the children, right? Where we teach them, we tutor them, we do all this stuff, we give them activities. For her child to be part of that, one of the prerequisites would be we have to know who this baby daddy is. We also have to know why this man is not in this child's life. And we want to know the truth. We want to know if you ran him off. We want to know if he just don't want to be bothered with the kid. We want to know if he owned crack, if he in jail, if he living underneath the train trestle. We need to know all of that, because that's the only way you get help from the father squad. Okay? So not only would we be putting the women's feet to the fire, we'd be putting these men's feet to the fire as well. Because, see, we're doing it for the children. We're not doing it for them. We're doing it for the children. And in some instances, I think that brothers should absolutely positively be forced to be in these children's lives. That's one time where I think a brother should be forced. And if he chooses not to do so, I believe that not only should he be ostracized from anything that's going on within the society, he should be ostracized from that society altogether. And I think that would set a precedent, because if that goes on long enough, brothers will know that if they mess around and get a woman pregnant, they know that the father squad is coming if they don't do what's right. And also, the women will know that if they mess around and get pregnant, they know that the father squad is coming around if they don't do right. What you think about that? And yeah, we've been joined by Brother GabTalk. What's good, Brother GabTalk? Brother Jay Shine.
Hey, bro, how you doing? I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, man, good to see you here, man.
Yes, sorry I'm late.
Oh, don't worry about it. I don't know if you brothers heard what I said. I'm gonna go ahead to B.M.T, get his thoughts on it, and y'all give me your thoughts on it too.
Yeah, I ain't got no beef with that because I'm in the schools already with a lot of conflicted boys and girls right now, and the precedents for, I think I did a talk just yesterday about Jill Scott, and a lot of people ask Joe, why are you ripping into her? But I ripped into her because she has a kid, and a lot of these people understand, especially Black women, that the sins of the father and the mother carry on to the child. A lot of kids go hard to defend their mother's honor, even if their mother's a dope addict or a crack addict or just a fuck up. That's a fact. A lot of these boys out here in the street talk about my mama, I'm defending that. A lot of these boys don't have no pride or no dignity or self-interest in building themselves up because they don't see the light of what a positive, strong Black man can be. So when they don't see that and understand the importance of what a father or a man should be like, and see the instruction, the tutelage and instructions that we're supposed to implement. Now, holding these people to a fire, I agree 120%. Because just like I can check a boy right there on I call them boys, because if I see your ass at the barbershop, at the gas station, and your kid or somebody I see your kid going out there suffering and shit, be it you on damn Facebook or you up in around my functions and you flexing, nah, you can't flex with me. You can't hang around me. Because you're a Pookie and Ray Ray, you're a fuck up. You would make the men who do what we're supposed to be doing, they use you as the poster child for what Black men look like. And it's sad because there are good brothers out here who are doing what they're supposed to be doing, but we get hit with the shame card because we get the statistics. So you don't hear about the prophets who are at home helping their son learn how to fix an engine. You don't hear about the Jay Shines who are with their daughters teaching them how to act ladylike. You don't hear about the B.M.Ts who be at the school with young individuals helping them learn how to do computer classes and stuff. You see, why? It's because society does not try to put us on a pedestal. So what we have to do is hold those who will not want to be held accountable to accountability. You got to bring them up to court, because honestly, this is why we're hearing all this anarchy from children now about I don't need no man. Why? Because they don't see no men. This is why you hear it's like a clogged drain starting to finally build up. And the fact about it is, the brothers who are actually trying to do something now, they're like, damn, how can I fix my community? And that's why I told them, it starts with the kids. If you can find 1 or 2 kids who actually want to do something worth a damn, and you can mentor them and say, yo, I can teach y'all how to cut grass and make your own money. They'll come. They'll want to cut that grass and they want to learn. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these men right here, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. They're a lot of boys. They reproducing like goddamn rabbits and shit. I'm seeing more and more of these little niglet babies, and they're all telling us like, "Oh man, y'all need to come back to the hood and fix this shit." No. This is run by a goddamn matriarchy and shit. I was gonna talk about tomorrow. I fixed a woman's kitchen floor. She left her kids for 5 hours. I fixed her kitchen floor because my son said, "Daddy, I almost fell into the kitchen floor." I said, "Where? Oh, where? Not my house." I went to the woman's house, hole in the goddamn kitchen floor. I went to my shed, got the boards, cut up the rotted wood, fix it. Her son helped me do it. Her older teen son, because a lot of these older boys and daughters, guess what they're playing? Parent. Call me if I'm lying, but I'm sure some of these guys in the chat had to pay daddy or big brother or possibly mama while their folks are out there in the streets. Daddy, you see him from time to time. Mama out there, doing her blow and going to the nightclub and shit. But then if you don't contribute, take your little measly dollar McDonald's check and contribute to the household, you wrong. And what's bad that really hurt me was when I helped fix that kitchen floor, the mother got mad at me because I came to her house. She didn't care that I gave her kids food. She didn't care that I came by and made sure that her children were all right and safe. Mind you, it's wintertime and it's getting cold out. She slapped her boy in the face because he didn't close the door. He said, "Mama, I fixed the kitchen floor." And you know what he said? The worst thing about it? I saw him at school the next day. He said, "I hate that bitch. I hate that bitch." I said, "Don't say that, son." "No, I do. All she ever do is beat me." How do I, as a man that is not even in that household, combat that type of hate? So what you got going on? You have a good point, but it's not going to be easy battle. I'm gonna pass it over to Jay Sean, but I'll let y'all know I'm in the war right now, brother. I got your back. Just say less. I got your back, Prophet.
That's what's up, B.M.T. Jay Sean reporting for duty. What's up, veteran?
What's going on, bro?
What's good, brother Jay Sean?
Chilling, brother
bro.
X, man. Hey, what's up, Gab? Nice to meet you, man. Finally got on the stream with you, brother. Nice to meet you. X, this has been a fun day, man.
It has.
It's been a fun day.
It has.
And so I see that grin on your face right now. You ain't shit. Hey, B.M.T, I wanna piggyback over B.M.T was saying, because I remember when me and my brother's aunt, and it was 6 of us from Northern Virginia. We was doing like a Big Brother program in DC, and we mentored about, I think, around 30 kids. Boys came through, our little program that we created ourselves. No backing, no sponsors, just 6 brothers, doing what we can, and the funny thing is, some of the boys' behavior, where I'm about to go with this. Their behavior, how they react, and their emotional outbursts. It was a lot. It was hard to deal with. You know what I mean? But that being a hard thing to deal with, the hardest thing we had to deal with was the mothers. If the mothers weren't getting the kids there on time, there was mothers complaining about spending a few bucks on a train to get them down to the locations we picked. Now, mind you, we're doing this for free. We're not charging these women anything. We're just asking you to get the children into a place we organize them to be. And the mothers would be the ones acting like it was this big ass chore to get these children to the location. So whether it was a park or downtown DC somewhere, or it was a museum where we wanted to take the kids to show them something. And if it wasn't that, there was also the females trying to get laid. There was women trying to holler at the brothers.
Talk about it.
Now, this is something you're supposed to be doing for your child, your son. I'm gonna tell you how this works on multiple levels. You're not focused on what the task is. You got 6 brothers here who are trying to mentor your son, we're not fathers to. We're just trying to do our part to help out with boys, trying to raise boys because they're lacking in, fatherhood. And instead of you caring about that more than anything, you care about what's convenient for you, and if you can get some sex. That's all they were caring about. Fussing with each other. I don't like her. Why are we having this conversation, sister, about how you don't like one of the other mothers? Drop the goddamn boy off and go about your business. That's all you got to do. They bring drama to a situation that we didn't even invite. You know, so I want you to think about this. You a son, and your mother is dropping you off to a program. All right. In this situation, the boy is already known. They already admitted that there's no father there. That's why you bringing the boy down here. The boy is part of the program. He knows he's going down here to get some mentorship. We're acknowledging the fact that he's fatherless. All right. So you're a fatherless boy coming down to the program, and you got to sit here and watch your mother flirt with another grown ass man. Think about that. And you wonder why these boys grow up not valuing women at all. You got to sit here and watch your mom sitting here flirting with another man. Completely inappropriate. Or arguing, assassin with another woman. And this is the insight we get to what's going on in our household. So when B.M.T says that one of these boys are being beat, of course, because we know what, we all come from the hood. We know what that's about. We all seen that before. Miss Frustrated, we call her. We call her Miss Ratchet now, but back then was Miss Frustrated. Always frustrated, always talking about how hard things are and you don't understand. And you know what I mean? So that's why she's always flying off the handle. Can't control her goddamn emotions, but beating the fuck out of her children and giving it to her daughters too. But I'm just going to concentrate on boys because now we're talking about men. Men is coming into question. We hearing articles about how black men don't protect black women, and you got the Sinjis and them running around here talking about what black men should be doing and all that kind of stuff. Look, black men. I'm gonna say this one more again. Black men are not flown in on a stalk. They come from somewhere. They're raised from somewhere. And the fact that we still got some men around here out of this situation with the single mom thing is actually a testament to us as black men. It's not a knock. It's a testament because look at what's going on in the white community. Look what's going on in the white community. They got fathers. They shooting up schools. They on drugs. All kinds of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? They have, you know, even in the poorest white communities, they can go hunt. They got boats. You know, they can go fishing. They got space. They're not on top of each other like we are. And look what's going on with them. So this is actually a testament to us that we are where we are. Now, am I satisfied? No, the situation is fucked up. But we're talking about who's your daddy. There can't be a daddy when these women right here are running a goddamn matriarchy backed by a system that allows it. It can't happen. And that's why I implore men to go get your children. That's the only answer. I love the fact that China, Black China, and what's that brother's name? They used to play basketball. Somebody help me out. I would say Doug Christie, not Doug Christie. What's his face? I can't hear you, B.M.T. You muted.
I know you don't. Is it Garnett or Garner? But he got his twin boys back.
Yeah, he got his boys back from that other slower. Anyway, he got into it with today, and he's been banging hard on the system and banging hard on how women are coming up, and it don't cost $60,000 a month to raise no kid. And he's right. They're buying bags, they're buying shoes, they put everything before their children. You know what I mean? They put everything before their children, and it's enough. So men have to start now and say, you know what? Enough of Cowtown to this bullshit. There's too many men getting comfortable. Yeah, man, I pay my child support. Let me tell you something, man. Child support means disrespect. That's how I look at child support. This chick brung another fucking entity between you and your goddamn kids and telling you what you should be doing for your kids, how much you should be paying for your kids, and you don't even get to fucking control how it's spent. Whenever a woman brings you into court, it's disrespect, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. You know what I mean? Give my little remarks just to piggyback on what B.M.T was saying, because I've seen this with my little Big Brother program we had, where you know the women couldn't even appreciate that. Matter of fact, I had one last thing. I know in Texas they had that call to they wanted 100 mentors or something, and 1,000 black men showed up.
Yep.
And I remember we're looking at the video and the pictures of that event, and some of the mothers were there. But you know what I didn't see? I didn't see a child line. I didn't see the women get together and put together some hot plates and something like that so the men can eat. Then, see, look, fathers can only be fathers if we're allowed to be fathers. And if women are not going to facilitate it, you know what I'm saying? If they're going to use the system to deny fatherhood, then we're going to have to do some other things. And we're going to get into that later on this broadcast. I'm going to talk directly to that because I got custody of mine. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty of that shit. So the bottom line is that I'm seeing women showing up to an event like that. You got 1,000 men sitting in the rafters, and you don't even have the presence of mind to say, you know what, to go get some paper plates or get some tin pans. Let's feed these brothers who are coming out here to try to save our boys. They don't give a shit about their boys. They probably sitting there looking at which one they want to get fucked by. I'm out.
Brother GabTalk.
Whoa, lot of fire being spit out here on here, man. I'm not sure of what the original question was, but I've been listening to both the brothers, and I get a gist for what we're talking about. Let me approach the entire subject of fatherhood, like, kind of from my experience, man. I need to get out a lot more. I think I'm hearing a lot of different things about the problems in our community. I've seen some of them firsthand, but I done moved out of the city, brother. Been married 24 years, got 2 kids of my own, and I've been doing my best to try to raise them. And I think the best choice I ever made was in my choice of who to settle down and have to be my wife, and who to settle down and have kids with as my wife. I'm sorry, let me rephrase all of that. Who to choose for my mate, and who to marry, and who to have children with. The kind of person that I chose, and the kind of care that I put into that, and to make sure that there ain't no slip ups dealing with some of the crazy women that I dealt with in my youth. You know what I'm saying? And so, men, I believe, are the leaders of the communities once we learn how to lead. Once we know how to get the resources necessary that makes us leaders. And it's going to be difficult to accomplish all of that stuff in this time period that we're living in, where white supremacy is still reigning supreme. I have strong beliefs and information that lets me know that is on its way out. But I am seeing a strong gender war that I've been trying to figure out how to mediate. So I've been on Cynthia G's channel and Nyla's, and I haven't been on too many brothers who uh, who felt like women were the issue. So I need to listen more to the brothers who are making women the issue. Like brother pulled out made some strong points. The one that just spoke made some strong points about what goes on in the neighborhood, man. And some of that I know to be real. I'm gonna say is what goes on in the hood our responsibility as leaders. I think I'm gonna have to raise it as a question and listen to the feedback, and then come back in and weigh in again.
Well, I'll address this like this. Ergo my idea for the Father Squad. I think that we should, brothers who are doing what they're supposed to do, because I know everybody on this panel is a father. Fathers who are responsible for their children and do what a man does when he has children. I think the quote unquote father squad, we should hold these women accountable. And I mean hold them accountable, I mean fully in the hood. We should hold them accountable fully. We should be checking these broads who, when you have a brother like Jay Shine who has a program to mentor and teach and do activities with young boys, we should check these broads when they come in there and they start flirting with the men, when they are complaining about getting the child down to the spot that a brother like Jay Shine has put together for them. We should be calling this stuff out. We should be calling it out when we should be calling it out when we know for a fact that this woman has had a child by somebody who has a baby by 5 and 6 and 7 and other people. I mean, I don't think any woman should be trying to be baby mama number 10 or 11 or 12 or 5 or 7. We should be calling them out for that. And we should be taking these people inside Black society who are intentionally doing things to smite Black society, doing intentional things to cast a dark cloud over Black society. I think that we should be putting these people on blast. I think that within Black society, what we have done is we have allowed people to get away with way too much. Okay? We've allowed them to get away with way too much. And we as men, we have to take some degree of responsibility for that. But I think the sooner the better. When we start to hold people to account for the things that they do. And I mean especially the women, because unfortunately, women have control of most of the children in Black society. That's just a statistical fact. I mean, most of these kids are growing up in a household without a father. So if you have this quote unquote father squad who's going to step in and hold brothers' feet to the fire to make them responsible for these children, and or have things in place for these children, for these children to have a place to go, a place to study, a place to learn, that comes with prerequisites. Because you, as a woman, a prerequisite for us doing this is you have to be on top of your game. You can't come down there flirting with the brothers that's running the program. All right. You can't continue to pump out 4 and 5 more babies. Okay. When you have your children enrolled in this thing. I mean, there has to be rules and regulations to this. It can't just be anything goes. And you often hear people talk about code. I mean, there's never going to be a code when you have people who aren't willing to live by it. So I believe these rules and regulations have to be enforced on these people. Okay. And I know there's going to be some people who are not going to coalesce with it. There's some people who are not going to fall in line. And those people are the people who deserve to be left out, because they have made it obvious. They have made it clear that they don't want to go along with our quote unquote program. Therefore, they cannot reap the benefits of that program. Because I'm a type of brother, I'm all for brothers going into the neighborhood and because I know a brother, okay, that does this. I know a brother who feeds folks. I know a brother right out here where I'm at in the South, where he boxes up F-150 full of food and pass out food and all that kind of stuff to people. My man Q Butter, he teaching kids in the hood. So I'm all for that. I'm all for brothers, doing these things to tutor, mentor, whatever it is. I'm all for that stuff. But what I'm also all for is that these children's parents need to be held to account. They have to be. We can't just say, okay, drop your kid off here. That's it. You get to go to the club while we got the kid. No. No. If we gonna have your kid for 8-9 hours, your black ass need to be out looking for a job if you don't have one already. If we're going to be taking your kid for 5 and 6 hours, you need to be into a study program, a homeschooling program, or better yet, maybe trying to do something to improve your life and that child's life. I think often what happens inside Black society, that everybody wants to obtain, but no one wants to achieve. And I think one of the prerequisites of having these things come within these societies is that people got to work towards getting themselves together, or they can't benefit from it. What you brothers think about that?
I would agree 120%, because honestly, that shows structure and order. And one of the biggest issues that we got going on is that men thrive in order and structure. I always go by that mantra. Men need order, women need discipline. And if you cannot have order and discipline, then you have nothing but chaos. Now, the problem, and as I agree with Jay Sean, because I deal with that all the time when I go to these school functions, is that a lot of these women, they don't mind you taking on their child because that just gives them free time to go around and fuck around. A lot of these want to be, you know, I would call them, you know, media daddies. You know, one time they show off their kid is on social media and shit. They don't mind you so long as the woman that they're fucking around with, you ain't getting too close to where they lay their egg. You see, this is why the men like Jay Shine and Prophet, this is why a lot of us don't want to go back sometimes and want to deal with these people because their mind is in this type of matriarchy fuckery. Whereas they don't want to be having told the laws of the land. You see, what Prophet just now said is, listen, you have to go find a job while I structure and get your son squared away from the law. Because understand this, when I was out there doing me, now when I used to watch those boys used to come up to the dope, when I used to watch those boys come up to the dope boy, he said, listen, if you fuck with my money, I'm gonna kill you. See, I know that was a little bit rough, but the reason why that boy idolized that dope man was he wanted that type of power and that structure. But see, when a man like Jay Shine comes and starts giving some type of simplistic structure, oh no, I don't know. See, you're gonna have the mother get involved, and she's gonna have a problem with that because she's gonna be like, wait. You trying to tell me how to do my parenting? And we all know you can't tell the black woman how to do her parenting skills because if you got to tell her that, then that means she has to acknowledge that she fucked up. That means she has to acknowledge that she makes bad sexual choices. And you see, a lot of people don't want to admit that. Especially these women. Now, these fuck boys, I'm gonna call them, like I said, fuck boys. Because all they do is fuck around. You see, when you actually have to see, it's sad that a white man has to put the foot in their ass and make them do what they're supposed to do. And I told one man, I said, listen, brother, you want to get put on the system? Nah, man, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go to court. I said, then go by the school and just be in your son's life. It's for free. Betty, I'll tell you what, your son is planning on signing up for football. It costs nothing but $25 to go buy him some cleats. Another $15 to go take him to the doggone physician to go get looked at. You go ahead and do that. Instead, why don't you start knowing where your money is going to? I agree. See, black men don't like being told to be a daddy and how to be a daddy. But you gave that woman that authority and that power to have that kind of power over you. And it's sad that you got to have the father squad come in and say, hey, there is a way, but you got to be willing to follow the tutelage. And that's the big issue that we're going to have when you want to implement this, because black women don't want to yield to no other power. See, this is why they never want to get back to black community. It ain't white superiority that's fucking us up. Man, it's black matriarchy that's been fucking us up for umpteen years now. And it can be a positive black influential brother want to say, hey, y'all can get y'all shit together if you just follow by the blueprint. Oh, no, fuck that. That means I got to submit to you. Now, not doing it. How many black women have we seen already say, I'm not submitting to no man. I could do all by myself. You can come with the game plan. I seen barbershop barbers get fucked, little league football coaches, mentors. They like seeing a man that deals with their kids, but they don't want to see a man that knows how to instruct and teach them how to run the household. Why? But that means they have to submit to a masculine power. And ain't no bitch want to do that. I'm sorry, I got to call it like I see it, but ain't no bitch want to do that. A woman will do that. But these bitches, nah, they ain't going to do that. But that means they're fucked up. And it is what it is. You're fucked up. You need a man to come in and clean up your fucking mess. And until they can realize that, hey, you need a man to do it, you can't do it by yourself. Because if you could have done it by yourself, we would have had Ray Ray and Pookie and all these fuck up running around getting shot and doing all this dumb shit and putting the whole community in anarchy, and we got to come up and clean up the mess. I'll leave it right there. Y'all can pick it up for wherever y'all want, brother.
Well, what happens is, and I truly believe that some of these women, they too need fathers. Yeah, they need fathers too. Some of them need
They need a daddy.
fathers.
They need a daddy.
Yeah,
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 They
they
need a,
definitely need daddy. You
yeah,
they
false.
need a
some of
daddy
them,
tonight.
yeah, some of
You know,
them,
Yo ass.
Jay Shine, Jay Shine,
tonight, nigga.
they are some of these women, they need a father figure. And when I say a father figure, I'm not talking about the father figure that they go out and look for and spread their legs for. A lot of them, they need guidance and instruction and counsel. And some of that guidance, instruction, and counsel needs to come from a man, not the hoes that they in the trap house with. Some of that guidance and counsel needs to come from a solid man, a man of understanding, a man who's raising a family, a man who's willing to take on your kid in his program. Okay. The fact that a brother is willing to take on your kid, that alone should have you ingratiated to this brother to a certain degree, because he's doing something that most brothers don't want any part of. Okay. The fact that a brother is willing to take on your kid inside of his program means that he is not just the normal everyday brother, he is extraordinary. And the fact that this brother is extraordinary, that alone should at least give you pause about, number one, giving him lip, giving him problems, and making what he's trying to do more difficult for the simple fact that you claim to be this strong, independent, whatever. Um, we've been joined by brother M.O.T. I know brother M.O.T. He runs a few programs for young children. What's good, brother M.O.T.? Is he there?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's good, brother?
Um, what I found is you have to have different strategies on how to deal with these. Because they would come to some of these programs, the kid would turn around, and all of a sudden, poof, the kid would be gone. And you're like, where the hell did this kid go? No, she didn't like the fact that her parenting was being usurped, so she decided to move to a different part of the city and change the school that the kid was going to. Like, you have to keep multiple eyes and ears on whenever you have them in your program. Like like me, our program, rule number one, you gotta be on birth control. And you going by this doctor's office to make sure that you are on birth in order to be with our program. Two, what we do for men, you end up dicking out one of these women, you off the team forever. You don't ever get to come back. I mean, because most times women come into this program and try to do those types of things to show how weak your leadership if they can still come in your program and still get what they want out of it while giving nothing to it. And three, you have to have these buy-ins from principals of schools, teachers in classrooms, religious leaders, the good ones. So you got to have multiple eyes and ears out on these kids in these areas, because no matter what you set up, the women will strategize around what you're trying to do and still try to usurp even that rule that they're getting free. Because once they see that change and that chop, then all of a sudden they don't want what's happening anymore because they quote unquote lost control. So it's just that you got to keep having different strategies going to capture the same kind of kid, because people are going to strategize around that and try to usurp what you're doing. So we just keep changing it up and keep throwing them off balance. Because what these kids need to see, first and foremost, this pain is going to come to an end for you, child. You have a future. You have a future, and this pain is going to stop by the time you get 18 if you stick with us. If you let a child know that they have a future, trust me, they'll do anything. They will know that this pain is going to stop at some point, because kids need incentive as well. because they don't, they don't have the ability to long-term think thanks to the situation that they're in. So as long as you let them know, look, this is why you need to go to school. This is why you need to do that. Yeah, they may have heard it 1,000 times, but they haven't been given the incentive on how this affects the personal pain that they're going through right now. Like, this is your job right now. And if you want to get out of this, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to hang with these people. You got to stay away from this. So as long as you can get that kind of buy-in with the child, you really don't need the parent all that. But you have to have multiple eyes and ears to kind of catch this child whenever he's doing stuff that's kind of not right either. So that's what I've been doing, and that's kind of like on top of what kind of Jay Sean is doing, because that's the top level of what we're doing. But me, I'm more of a military strategy kind of guy. So this is all the other stuff that I do in the background, where everybody else doing this stuff.
Well, let me say this, and let me tell brother GabTalk, because brother GabTalk is new to DXL. Brother Gab, you say whatever you want up on here. DXL is it's a free flowing platform. There's no censorship. There's no nothing. Like I said, all these brothers, the brothers that you see on here now, they some of the usual suspects. But you knew. But I just want to let you know, brother, you come up here, you say whatever's on your mind, whatever you want to say. You want to interject something, you want to interject a question, it's all good. That's how we flow here, all right?
Okay. Can I get a point of clarification?
Go ahead.
It sounds like when y'all was talking, what I meant was when I said, what's the scenario? Was there, it sounds like there was a scenario on the table that everybody's addressing. Like there's something going on in the hood by women that most of the brothers on the panel are not feeling. And then there's you was talking about they had to follow the rules and regulations, and I was wondering, are you talking about anything specific, or like was that just figurative?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, it's specific and figurative. Like for instance, like brother M.O.T, he has a program that he does for children, and what brother Jay Shine was talking about, him and the other brothers do these things for children. And he said that, the women come there, they're trying to holler at the dudes and also kind of nonsense. I think the rules and regulations, number one, should be, if you're going to if you want brothers to be involved with your children, if you want the father squad to step in and do particular things, you too are going to be held to a certain standard of what you have to do. You can't be down there hollering at the brothers who run the program. That's a no-no. If we have your child for 8 hours and you unemployed, you need to be going to school, trying to get a job, so on and so forth. We can't just let the women because let's face it, I mean, there's some women out there who have children by brothers, and the brothers is dead, they on crack, they in jail, or they just don't want to be bothered with the children at all. I understand that. But if you're going to be part of this and you want your child to be part of this, you too have to take an active part in this as well. And that
what's the Father Squad? Is this the Father Squad?
Yeah, well, this is just an idea. I'm okay. Throwing it out there tonight. This Father Squad.
This is the first time.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm throwing it out there. And
gotcha.
My premise on the Father Squad is that we hold these women feet to the fire, and these dudes, okay, and these dudes. Part of having the Father Squad help is you got to tell us who this baby daddy is. We want to know who's your baby daddy. We want to know. Because see, this brother, we're going to go and find out if he wants to be in his child's life or not. And if he wants to be, part of the deal is you have to let him. That's part of the deal. Now, if he doesn't want to be, that's different. We'll handle that differently. But if he does want to be in his child's life, part of the deal within Black society is that you have to let him. Okay? You have to let him be in the child's life. Now, if he's a father that's gone, he live on the other side of the world, whatever case may be, that's a different story. You don't have any control over that. So we tell you, hey, look, we're willing to put your son into this program. We're willing to put your son on the football team. We're willing to get your sons involved in X, Y, or Z. But at the same time, you can't be going to the club while we have them. You can't be tricking and in the trap house and on dope and all this kind of nonsense while we have them. Because if we trying to improve your son's life, the very least you could be doing while we're trying to do that is trying to improve your life. That's the premise of the quote unquote father squad that I'm thinking of.
Okay, yeah, thanks. I think another brother had opened his mic up right here.
Yeah, I did. Let me tell y'all. I have a brother right now, and he said, "Joe, I don't know how to properly be a father." He told me that one time because he came up and confronted me when this boy was riding with me, and he was like, "I come by the house and my son ain't never home, but then I find out he's with you. Like, you trying to move on my woman." I said, hold on. No, I'm gonna give you. I said, brother, last time I heard your ass, you ain't never come see your child. He said, well, shit, she don't ever let me around my child. Now, again, this is something like Prophet said, like Jay Sean said. Some men want to be around their kids. They want to. I said, well, what do the court papers say? I don't want to get you in trouble, but get you hemmed up by the courts now. He said, I'm supposed to be seeing my child on Friday and Saturday. And on Sunday at 12 o'clock, I'm supposed to have him back. But she said that he's at his grandma's house. I said, hold up. Well, it's Saturday night. Now, what happened is, and I know Jay Sean, I know why, that's why Jay Sean came out the mute, because the woman lied. She lied to me. Because she was trying to get good with me, but she didn't tell me that the father, and y'all, some of y'all brothers, this is why you gotta ask the question. Whenever y'all talk to these women, where is the father? Where is the father? Does he want to be part of his life? If she's not, you got an ain't shit bitch in your presence. Because some men, they wholeheartedly want to be, if they're paying for their kid, they want to see that damn kid.
Mm-hmm.
If they're paying, they want to see that child. I said, bro, I'll tell you what, man. Listen, Applebee's is right up the road. I'll take you and your son there. Y'all can go sit right there. Me and my kid go do us. Just let me know when I didn't like having to have to do that. But for a man to come find me and come out of his way just to come see his son, I knew there was a fucking problem. So I said, listen, brother, here's what we're gonna do. How many days have you seen? Sometimes brothers don't know how to legally go about correcting these issues. You know what I'm talking about, Jay Sean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, and you got to.
And I couldn't take it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. They created the atmosphere for that. You know what I mean? It's not like, black men are not going to see their kid because she said so, because he's afraid of her. No. We are adhering to the court order. We're adhering to documents saying that when we can and cannot visit. We're adhering to what's the thing they abuse all the time when they say you're being violent.
No, they hit you with domestic and all kind of dumb
not
shit.
Domestic. The other one. Well, you can't come in like 100 feet of the bitch.
Protection.
Protection order. Shit.
Now I learned that shit. It's flimsy. You could just throw a protection order and then they grant it temporarily. And you know what happens in a protection order? You can't come within a certain amount of feet. And if a protection order is granted, you lose a lot of rights. You lose access to your firearms legally if you own firearms because you're considered a threat. If you come within a certain distance of the female, you can, be brung up on all kinds of other charges. It's a lot of shit that goes into that, and it's done so willy-nilly, and we overlook it. Look, black men got to stop doing this shit, man. We've been doing this shit for 400 years. I said this last week. Next summer is going to mark the 400-year anniversary of our time here in America. All right, 400 years on the dot. All right, next August. And all we've been doing since we've been here is, Let's go back to the 50s. White man walk up, slap you aside the head. Don't do nothing, Billy. This is your brother over there telling you, giving you advice, and just let it go. Don't, and just let it go, because you know how it's gonna get. You know what I mean? You gotta just always put your head down and accept the environment you're put in. But you want to call yourself a leader. Well, I'm gonna tell you about being a leader. I think like a fucking king. All right, I want some king shit. To me, what a king means is I'm the master of everything I survey. That means my household, my community, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to say why black men are not defending black women, that defense comes with comes with something. That means it comes with your goddamn obedience. It comes with your submission. It comes with your respect. I don't defend somebody who disrespects me, but this is how sisters want to purport themselves. They think this makes sense, that they can talk crazy to black men and talk about being protected. Another thing that comes on the king shit. I say what the fuck I want to say about what I want to talk about. So when you got sisters out here, and even brothers, shaming brothers about talking about women and their actions, that's bullshit. That's a shaming tactic. We can talk about what we want to talk about. Again, I'm the master of everything I survey. So I talk about men, I talk about women. I could talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. And that includes the women. That's called being a king. How are you a king of a kingdom, but you got to sidestep the women in your kingdom? For some reason, they're not under your rule. You can't address them. I will address anybody in the kingdom and when I see fit. That's my mentality. Now, we got a whole system that's being held up by petitions right now. Right now, there's a single mother who got kids crying in the background, and she's watching Jill Scott's video, learning how to suck dick right now. And we can't address that?
We talked about that yesterday, brother.
We see on Facebook. We can't talk about the shit we see on Wall Star. We can't talk about the hundreds of videos that Tommy Sotomayor is archived on his channel. We got to ignore all of that. Why? Why? Because some chick said so? I'm going to tell you something, man. My whole mentality is that I'm only going to talk about, when we talk about leadership, I'm only talking to men. I'm only talking to men. If we're talking about leadership, I'm not talking to women about leadership. I'm not compromising with them for my leadership. That's not how leadership works. So I want to talk to men. Only men. Now, addressing women, I will do that as I see fit. And any man should be able to do that as he see fit. And I'm saying this for a reason, because we know what's going on out these YouTube streets, what's happening again. There's women running around talking about what black men should be doing. And there's black men obliging that shit. And it needs to stop. They have no right to tell us what to do. None. Because I'm gonna tell you, this is a smoking gun. And I want Cass to really listen to what I'm about to say next. If they run around saying that, all right, black men are not in the community, black men are not leading, black men are not being fathers, okay, let's accept that premise. Let's accept that premise. Let's say all of that is a fact. Let's accept that premise. So the fact that you out here, ladies, talking about that means there's an issue. Why are you talking about that? You're not talking about that because your children are good, because your children are turning out well, because your children are behaving well. You're saying that because there's a problem in the community, which means your motherhood sucks. Your single motherhood has failed. That's the end of it. I don't want to be sitting here going these circle arguments with these bitches about this bullshit. There's a fucking problem in the BC, and it's because of broken homes. And I want to talk to men about getting our children back. That's all I want to talk about. Period. That is the answer. Because if they was going to fix it, it was going to be fixed, the one would have fixed it by now. But they have not fixed it by now. What they've done is spend billions on red bottoms, spend billions on pocketbooks, spend billions on weaves. We have no schools. They have done nothing for their children but spoil them. Give them an Xbox, give them some toys, give them some goddamn Jordans in the hood. Niggas getting killed over Jordans that their mothers bought them. They are completely irresponsible. And we got to sit here and deal with them. My man over here, Man of Tomorrow, is out here trying to mentor children that are wayward as fuck. I know because I dealt with it. Who raised them? They don't get to walk away from this shit.
Right. This is why I love Jay Shine. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. GabTalk.
There's a lot of fire coming out. When we talk about, are we talking about loving black women still? Jay Shine, whoever want to answer.
No, I'll answer. No, it's not talking about loving black women. We're talking about who's daddy. And being a father and being a leader has nothing to do with her. She's a secondary. Me loving
but I'm saying
nothing to do with any of this loving children.
Well, let me ask it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let me ask it this way. Are we talking about building strong black families?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And that starts with a man controlling his own destiny. You know what I mean? Having his shit together. You know what I'm saying?
I,
And
yeah,
and
no, I heard you.
okay,
You
go
made
ahead.
some real. I heard you, and I heard you talk about it starting with the man, and like I agree with I think most of everything what you said. Um, Minus maybe some of the vitriol, but that's what it is.
Well, the
The
reason why
same.
it's vitriol, brother, is this: I got custody of my daughter. I have
Mhm.
out of anybody that on my brothers who on child support, I didn't suffer through that, right? I mean, I did for the first year of my daughter's childhood. I went through some bullshit with the mom, but then eventually flipped it around and got custody. But that's a
Yeah,
story for another day. But the bottom line is, my daughter's 15. I raised her. She's been 1 year, 4 months old. So I really have no reason to be this hot. I'm hot because I care about the community. I'm hot because I've seen other mothers shit on other fathers who are trying and doing their best and who are working and trying to see their kids. I'm tired of watching these videos of mothers cutting up in front of their children and no one's calling the shit out. And then when you do call it out, you're bashing. That's bullshit. That's
I
absolute
agree.
bullshit. Sitting there watching the children be dramatized. All this emotional noise in the house. Some chick going off and acting crazy. Got niggas coming in and out of the crib. And none of that shit's affecting the children. And you wondering why you got all these hoes and simps and pussy ass boys running around here.
Let me
How
let
the fuck
me
are you supposed to have men in an environment like this? You
let, let
can't.
me let me say this. Let me say this. And M.O.T, unmute yourself real quick. I'm gonna show you something.
Hold on,
M.O.T.
hold on. I want to get Brother GabTalk in here. I want to get him in here. Go ahead, Brother GabTalk.
Oh, okay. No, I'm agreeing with the brothers. I'm trying to weigh and judge where uh wh- where we're taking the conversation so that we it sounds like I hear both solutions and problems on the table. And it sounds like we're pretty hot about some stuff on here.
Yeah, should be.
And rightly so. Rightly so about a lot of it. Um, in terms of like men ruling and starting with men and running our kingdom, um, is it agreed that we have to have the resources? Because usually when men are being men
Yeah.
and they have the resources to do what's necessary, usually that's that's enough to get the submission necessary. Usually, if
Yeah.
you like, I don't know what women we hanging around, or are we talking about the problem of the community? Like, I guess we're talking about it all because, like I told y'all off on the onset, I chose a good woman.
Hmm.
We had children, and I'm not currently experiencing the things that make me upset to
Yeah.
like what I'm hearing on the phone right now.
Yeah. Okay. And
And
what I would say, okay,
but
go ahead.
I have I do have friends though,
Hmm.
and I
I was
seen
going to
some
ask you that
foul.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen some foul things go down
Hmm.
from women, and I seen them kind of both ways.
Yeah.
So I could tell that y'all trying to balance it out on here. Am I correct?
Well, it's not really a balance thing. Like, look, if you want to talk about, behavior between two couples, and here's the problem. It's arguing on both sides of your neck, right? When you go to a lot of these panels and you hear a lot of sisters out here on YouTube talk about this issue, they double talk. What I mean by that is this: they talk about the brothers as a monolith, and then they switch right back into a one-on-one situation. You see what I'm saying? They talk about some shit that happened between one dude and one woman, and then extrapolate that to all brothers, and that's a bullshit argument. That's a false premise. You see what I'm saying? You can't have that. All I can do is look at numbers. I can look at the majority of black men that I'm friends with and see, like, damn, they all went through the same goddamn thing. All right. And then you have women saying the same goddamn lie. You know what I mean? Because I can sit here and tell you how it's a lie. I've been in courtrooms with my homies and saw women lie. I've been lied on. This is what they do. And the courts make it that way, because the way it is, the courts work is that there's no real compromise. If you go to mediation, you can get a compromise. When you get in front of that judge, it's about winning or losing. So you're going to say whatever you need to do to win. You're going to make him look as crazy as possible. You're going to lie and say he doesn't do this, that. And if the judge allowed you to speak, if the judge allows you to talk, Gab, you might
Yeah,
get
no,
to
I
say your
seen
side.
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they might not still take your side because it's all a game. It's all bullshit at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And our sisters are played into it. They played into it and they used it to their full extent, man, to remove themselves to all responsibility. But take the court away. Take the court away. How can you
Okay.
argue the fact that you got kids out here who don't have food, don't have adequate clothes, are not doing good in school, but the mom has a weave and goes to the concerts? That's irresponsible. The club is full of single women. I've been a club promoter. I've been a whore. I ran through all kinds of single mothers in my 20s, man. You can't tell me about single mothers. I got a million single mother stories. They don't give a shit what their kids are doing. Right in the next fucking room. Kids are playing Coleco and she trying to get a swerve on with a strange nigga. They don't care, Gab. This is what's happening for real. We can try to dress it up and try to clean them up all we want. My job is not to hold her up and clean her up. That is not my job.
So as a man, how do we so I know you got a way of solving it as an individual for your scenario, but if we're moving into a collective, how do we do that as men?
Step one.
Okay.
Follow your example, Gab. I'll use you as an example. You're step one. First of all, stop shooting up the club. Stop getting these ratchet females pregnant. That's step one. All right? Stop getting a wayward chick pregnant. All right? Get to know a chick's mind before you put your seed up in her. All right? This is what I would tell a black man all the time. Now we're going to shift this to me talking to black men. Stop having unprotected sex and shooting up the club with a chick that ain't shit. All right? That's step one. Two, once you're in a situation where you got a chick pregnant and you know what she's kind of about and you know she don't really have, the right temperament to be a mom, or she's really disrespectful, then you need to establish yourself in the courts right away. Right away. You need to establish it before, and that's before you even step in the courts. How you do that? Don't give her nothing in cash. You pay for everything yourself. When my daughter was born, I paid for child care myself. I did all the paperwork, and I paid them directly. The mother didn't never pay them. Then I gave her, at the time, I was getting paid every 2 weeks. I was getting her $250 a week, and we upped it to $300 a week. This is before we even stepped in the courtroom. I did that on my own. I kept every money order stub. I kept every receipt. So this is what I'm called by establishing yourself. So now when I was doing that paperwork, my address was on that paperwork. You have to get involved. See, a lot of brothers are not being trained. This is where we had a disadvantage. When you have young men who are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, not being raised to be responsible, they do a lot of irresponsible shit. And what's happening with the courts is that the females are responsible too, but they lawyer for her. She don't have to do nothing but show up. They do everything else. She put in a petition, sign here, they fill in the blanks. I've seen it happen. I've seen women walk in the courts not even knowing the dude's real name, know his street name, and get all kinds of support. And I call the courts and I got the kid. I got custody. And I can't get we can't give legal advice. We can't do it. It's bullshit. So that's the second thing you have to do. Establish yourself. 3, don't be afraid to step into that courtroom. This is the platform we're on. This is the playing field we're on right now. Right now, we're not dealing with women who respect us as men. That's just is what it is. You know what I mean? That's just reality. Like my man tomorrow said, you got to think militarily about the shit. This is the conditions on the ground. It's not what I want. It doesn't make you a weaker dude. It just makes you a smart dude. You have to learn how to work in the courts. Establish yourself, petition the courts, keep going, keep going, keep going. Every time you petition the courts, she got to show the fuck up too. It drains her. You know what I mean? And then the judge gets tired of it too. There's ways you can do this shit, but you got to stop being lazy and you got to stop being scared. The reason why a lot of brothers refrain from, because one, we afraid to go into the courtroom. And we're afraid of the system. Why? Because inherently, we don't really want to walk into a situation where a motherfucker's telling us what to do. It pulls at your manhood. That's why I say even being put on child support is disrespect. They bringing a whole nother entity between you and your child. As soon as a kid is found out, the paternity test is found out the kid is theirs, child support, you didn't even get a chance to fucking take care of your kid. And if you walk into the courtroom with receipts and everything showing that you took care of the kid, they still put you on child support. So that tells you it's a game. That tells you it's a game.
I'm gonna stop. I got a lot to say, but I
want you to know what you got to say. But you asked me a question, so I gave you a long answer. Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, pull the trigger, brother. GabTalk, pull the trigger.
Oh, okay. I like the steps that he put down: responsibility, protecting yourself through the law, and not being afraid to go to the courtrooms and stuff like that. As men, because I'm gonna stay on this men part and leadership. Leadership and being men demands that you can control the resources of your community, so that you can do most of the things you can. Do you think that we're doing that as a collective?
No, we're not.
So if they're not respecting us, is that a reason why?
No, well, no. Yes and no, because I'll give you two reasons why. Because respect is predicated on if you're a respectable person. I don't disrespect people just because they're not worthy of respect. I'm a respectful person. If I see you in person, I'm gonna give you common courtesy. I'm not gonna walk past you. You know how you walk past the chicks the time you say hello, and she just give you, you know what I mean? That's just rudeness, right? So when someone
Nah,
speaks to me, I speak to them. Now I'm just saying. Now the other reason I would tell you this absolutely why it's not true is because we got third world countries out here on the earth where people are dirt poor and they don't disrespect their men the way we disrespected. All right.
but their men are in control of the resources
No, they
of
have
their.
no resources. I'm talking about people who got to fish every day and walk around with no shoes on. All right.
Well,
And won't even have
that's
fucking running
control,
water.
dog.
I
No,
understand that.
that's still controlling your resources. Like no matter what, how poor the scenario is,
Yeah.
if the men are a collective and they're getting things done, they don't have to ask for
I
what
understand
it
what you're
is.
saying, brother. But when the
They're
women have the children and they're raising boys on their own, how are you going to get a generation of men to operate that way? You see what I'm saying? We going back in circles. You can't have it. That's why we gotta come back now and take it.
well, you actually it lined it out how you do it. Like you
Yeah.
already have, yeah.
And it's going to be even
So
harder because it's going to be harder to get a lot of young brothers to come on. Why? Because we're in whore culture. It's hard to pull these dudes off the pussy. It's hard to get these kids
yeah,
to teach discipline to our brothers. That's yeoman's work. That's godly work, man.
Yeah, well, often what happens is, you have a lot of brothers chasing pussy instead of chasing power. And
Exactly.
and when you have that kind of thing going on, you're going to run into these brick walls. Now, I've always been of mind to say this to brothers. I tell brothers in a minute, hey, look, man, if you done messed around and stuck your penis in one of these holes who ain't
Mhm.
about shit, I ain't even gonna hold that against you because I know I've stuck my penis in some places I shouldn't have stuck it either.
Yeah,
I
man.
won't
It's a
hold that.
casino, nigga.
Yeah, I won't hold that against you, but
Yeah.
I will hold it against you if you let this old ratchet, broke down trap house hoe that is like this. You know she's like this. I will hold that against you if you just sit back and let this woman
Yeah.
raise the child. I
Yeah.
will hold that against you because,
Yeah.
see, you can do something about that. You can
Yeah.
change that child's destiny.
Yep.
You can change that child's life and in turn change your own as well.
Yeah. And
The
that's
hell with the
yeah.
hell with her. If she ain't
Exactly.
shit, fine. She
And
ain't.
I
Don't
tell
let
the
the
brothers
kid
all the
be
time,
raised by
X.
an ain't shit person.
And I tell the brothers all the time, man. Like when I'm around brothers and they complaining about what the girl is doing, and I ask them, well, what are you doing about it? You know what I'm saying? If this is your seed, my seed, man. I want to see my seed, man. Okay, how hard are you going to fight for your seed? It's the same question I have for the women. I'm pissed off at women because you sitting here, you carry this child for 9 months, and then you behave the way you do, and you put them so far down the line as far as priorities. Everything else comes before them. Your pleasure and mama's got to have fun too, and also the bullshit catchphrases they didn't came up with, and we all made this shit normal. But I got the same thing for brothers, man. If you love your child, I would die for my daughter without blinking a fucking eye. It's not even up for negotiation. I would die, sit in jail, do whatever the fuck I gotta do for my daughter. I have a divine responsibility to my daughter. So what are you willing to do for your children? And if my brother comes back to me, he's like, oh, I don't know that. Then nigga, then shut the fuck up and suffer. That's my
Well,
question. That's my answer to a brother. Shut the fuck up and suffer. If you ain't
yeah.
willing to go out here and read some goddamn state code and some laws and figure out what you need to do and make it a priority, then shut the fuck up.
Right.
You know different than her.
No, I agree. Um, I feel like this is going to be a multi. I was listening. Do y'all ever heard of this guy, Cerulean Gray?
of
Yeah,
course,
that's
we
really
all know
true.
cerulean. We know
Okay.
cerulean.
He talks sometimes about multi generational strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And, my background is Nation of Islam. That's where I entered consciousness, man,
Roger that.
somewhere
Mm-hmm.
around 30 years ago.
Shout
And
out to
so,
Nation Islam.
oh, thank you, thank you. Peace to you too. Um,
Yeah.
the some of this frustration that I have or had in the past, I I felt like I was going to be able to change some things, um, kind of in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping to be able to see it in within 5 or 10 years the end result, and then realize that damn, this is more. It's more to it than that. Like there are so many wars that we got to fight. So I think those strategies that you put out, the things we got to teach our youth, is all a part of it that we have to do. But you have to. I think you're going to have to recognize, if you don't already, is that it's going to have to happen in stages.
Yeah.
This war is in stages, and some of it we may live to see the fruit of our labor, and some periods you don't get as fortunate to see the fruit of your labor, not fully and completely, and it'll cause some frustration. But in our frustration, we tend to we kind of do some damage. We kind of inflict pain on ourselves. And right now on in YouTube, um, I've been seeing back and forth. I've been trying to go channel to channel. I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
Prophet reached out to me, and I'm just seeing destructive. Like you know I send GTalk,
Yeah, I
and you
know.
know
Talk crazy.
there's some other um people, but I have been trying to hear where she's at. It sounds like it might have been
I,
somewhat
yeah,
of a change.
can I speak on that real quick, man? She ain't coming from nowhere. She's an
Before
opportunist.
before you do that though.
Let me tell you why. You know what I mean? This
Okay,
is a
okay.
sister who has no skin in the game. She has no black man. She has no black children, and she wears the look of a white woman. So, and which inflicts a lot of pain on our daughters who are coming up trying to figure out their beauty. And if anybody raised a little girl, they know what I'm talking about. How they look in the mirror. I know why women stay in the mirror. There's something with them and with the mirror. So when you have grown women walking around looking like that, it's not a small thing. All right. She has no skin in the game. She's just talking, and she has no position. She has no right to demand anything of black men. She has done nothing. Just because she's a female doesn't is not enough. I'm a man. I don't get to go around mandating, demanding anything from women just because I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? No.
Right,
I just demand
right.
respect based on who. If you're talking to me, you want to give me respect because I have not disrespected you, and I'm worthy of respect. But that shit she got going over that's opportunist work, and I have nothing to argue. There's nothing to debate with her about, as far as I'm concerned. She's a
Respect to your
fucking
opinion.
irrelevant. You know
Yeah,
what
respect to that, to your opinion on that whole matter.
I mean?
Um, the but as I minus her name and all that, it's other people too
Yeah, it's
that I've
others.
just been trying to hear out, and just like I'm trying to hear y'all out. I didn't know it was brothers who felt so strongly that sisters were the problem, because I never really
Nah,
felt
they're part of the problem. They're not the
part,
problem. They're part of it.
what. Well, yeah, okay, that are part of the problem. So what I'm saying is, I'm witnessing the gender war, and so I hope y'all don't mind my soft approach towards this while
Nah,
I
I wouldn't
while
say
I
soft,
gather
man.
my.
You come from where you coming from, and you taking your time with it. And that's all good, brother. That's called being insightful. Because you're not where
Yeah,
I
I'm
am doesn't mean
collecting.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
I'm
where you are.
collecting my.
Yeah.
Right, I'm
I think it's being
collecting
soft too,
information
though.
right now.
That's just me.
Huh?
Well,
I think
actually, me personally, I'm rather fond of your style, brother GabTalk. So feel free to let it flow however you want it to flow. Feel
Yeah,
free.
what I mean by self approach, right, is like I'm not coming in with what I think is the answer just yet. I'm actually,
Yeah.
if you notice, I'm coming in with more questions, and I might not respond to your answer necessarily because I'm really collecting right now. I'm really
Yeah.
looking at the community and trying to figure out what do I have that is potentially a solution to some of the things that I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And I'm collecting what your answers are, and I heard some pretty. I actually wrote them down. That's some good things.
Well,
So
let me tell you what something I saw, Gab. And let me share
okay.
this with you. I sat in the courtroom, drug in there by emergency hearing, because apparently, even though I have custody of the child, the mom is able to get a lawyer because there's groups out here who give lawyers to moms, whether they got custody or not. So it's about women. So I'm over there. Her lawyer pulled the fast one. I get a subpoena out of nowhere, and I got to get to court. I got to take off, go to work, go to court. So it happens to be on a Wednesday. In Fairfax County in Virginia, on Wednesdays at their courthouse, they have a lot of emergency hearings. So they put you in this big ass room with a bunch of other people who have other hearings, and this one judge sits there, and it's like a speed thing. And I watched this brother be brought in a jumpsuit. This black brother, young brother, probably around 28, 29, 30. And I can't tell you how fucking furious I was watching what took place. Let me tell you what happened. They brought that brother in, and this judge grills him about being behind on his rears. He was paying child support, but he couldn't pay what he couldn't pay. He was a mover. He moved. That's what he did for a living. He was a mover. He had a second job, and now he's not working either because his ass is sitting in jail because he's behind on the rears. Why is he sitting in jail? Because the mom went down to child support division and complained about him not paying child support or him being in the rears. Obviously, not being in the rears, not paying your rears means you already came to court for that. So now he's back in court again. And now they're enforcing the situation. Now, if he doesn't have the money, he doesn't have the fucking money. We're not supposed to have debtors courts in this country. Now, this man is sitting there and he's basically begging. The court has him on his knees. The court is asking, well, what do you have? Do you own a car? Do you own this? Do you have anything you can give today? I'm like, this motherfucker's in jail. He doesn't even have a job waiting on him when he gets out because he couldn't come to work for the last 3 days. And he's sitting here telling the judge, like, well, I haven't been in my job, but I lost that job. But I talked to my uncle, and he's gonna hook me up with another job soon. But I need to get out of here so I can go to work. This dude is he's basically a slave. I'm gonna tell you something else that stood out to me. The person on the other side of the court wasn't the one mother. It was a lawyer from the child support division. So they have lawyers sitting there, and the mother doesn't even have to show up to face him. He doesn't have to face the mom. She doesn't even have to show up to court to deal with the man. She can sit at home doing what the fuck she wanted to do. This is the system that we're in. This is the kind of things that are going on. Even a working man can still go to jail for being in the rears because he doesn't have enough money. Now, you tell me that makes sense? How are you going to have a community of men when they're under this kind of shit?
Oh no, I definitely agree with you. So as men, I keep going again. We got a lot of work to do with respect to this, because you're not going to gain the respect of the female. The white man has the respect of the female because of the resources and the ruling, the authority that he's taken, and they're looking to us as the people who are supposed to overcome that. Let's talk. Go ahead.
I'm not here to purchase them out of this bullshit. It's their job to line up on my side of the field, not so that way they can hedge their bets, so they can choose which horse to go.
Preach.
This is a personal responsibility portion from their side. And I say this, if that benefit of the doubt that you give them, then I suggest you stop fucking with it, because that is not a partner. That is a saboteur. And you need to know the difference between them. I mean, the way you're coming at it, I mean, you're coming at it from a fact-finding mission, but we already see the trail of blood, the smoking gun, all of that. I mean, the way you're coming at it is if you're trying to come to this solution that we can all clearly see. It comes from not being on birth control, choosing the wrong guy, and papering over this failure by putting this guy in the system once everything doesn't go right. Now, you go to the system, you get a free lawyer and everything else, like what Jason just said. This guy had nothing. And they still wanted him to give something, even though he was in a position to not give anything. And then what you did is you circle around and say, well, the brother's got to do better. He was doing better. He was trying to give everything that he gave. But if you have this sliding scale of benefit of the doubt for women in all cases, you're not fighting for us. You're fighting.
I didn't say that. Yeah. I didn't say that the brother needed to do better. Who was we talking about? Because I didn't say that.
You were talking, you talking about resources and stuff like.
I was talking about our community, not that brother in that scenario, because the brother in the scenario is being mistreated by the system of white supremacy.
A lot of brothers in that scenario, because black men are not the richest black men. Black men are not the richest men in this country. So a lot of brothers in that scenario.
Yeah, we heard. Like
I literally heard a woman spear whatever, and they were sitting there talking about how white women get more, how they get over on their white men, and how black women are not doing enough in the courts. This is the mentality that we're dealing with, Gab. This is on YouTube.
Fucked up. Like, listen, I do. I get how messed up this scenario is, man. and it's going to take a lot of pain and effort
Yeah,
that come from us. And I feel y'all in what you're saying.
yeah.
But the same way you don't want the sisters to make us enemies, it's incumbent upon us to not kind of war back with the same.
No. I disagree. I'm gonna tell you why.
I
Okay.
definitely
Because
disagree with this.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Okay.
if it's like this. If I'm a general, all right, a fucking light colonel or lieutenant is not gonna just walk up and talk crazy to me. If I'm a general, you
Okay.
understand? If I'm a general, I'm going to say something back, and when I say something back, it's gonna be fucking final. So when I say I'm not gonna, I have no inkling to even debate with somebody like Senji because for what? Who she means nothing. You know what I'm saying? In the big scheme, she has no scheme. She has no skin in the game. None. In fact, she's not in a
Let's
position to complain
let's
at
take
all.
her off the table. Let's take her off the
But
table
there's a
for a
lot of
minute.
sisters like that. I mean, that's it
Then
again.
that,
All right, let's put another sister on the table. You got a sister out here running around who got 3 baby daddies, 3 kids by 3 different men. But she's complaining about black men, so she's not even taking responsibility for her own womb. And we sitting down here, listen. I don't know how many birth control pills you got, Gab, for men, but last time I checked, there ain't none.
right.
All right, but they got 30 forms of birth control over there. All right, they're completely irresponsible with their womb. All right, we're gonna sit here and say, all right, both people are responsible for bringing the child forth. I would agree with that. We're both equally responsible. She opened her legs, I went in. Okay, she was
You
unprotected, I was
pursued her.
unprotected.
You pursued her.
No, how
Like
you know
as a
that? How you know
man,
she didn't pursue me? It doesn't
in
matter. The
a,
act of
in a,
sex is the act of sex. I didn't rape her, so the act of sex is the act of sex. Is whether I pursued her or not, she still was consensual. All right, so
yeah,
she was
that's what
there, and
I'm saying. So that's an equal
that's what I'm
thing
saying.
right
So
there.
it's equal, right? So now,
Okay.
then why is not going forth? Why
But
is it not
because
equal
you're a
responsibility?
man, because you're a man, like I'm gonna keep on going back to that.
Okay.
Because you're a man, it demands responsibility from you
Hmm.
first because you're a
Okay.
man.
Okay.
And
So
so,
if you're the man, then where's
okay.
the respect for the man? Then?
The respect is when you gather the resources necessary to
Okay.
demand it, and like
Then
you
why
don't have
is
to
it?
ask for it. You don't
All
have
right.
to
So
ask
why is
for
it?
it.
Then,
Can I
why
step?
I can
Can I
hold
step
on,
into this?
BMT. I got one last question. I got one last question.
This-
Why is it then? Right now, if we brought Sinji on this channel right now, she would call me a beta male cool and disrespect me,
I'm
even
gonna
though
tell you
I'm
why
not.
she gonna do that.
No, I want to hear why. Let me finish.
Oh, okay, okay,
Let me finish. Why would she
okay.
do that if her argument is that, or their argument is that they want better men in the community? How come better men have been at the tail end of disrespect by the same women? If that's what they're
Uh,
looking for. If that's what they care about, they want men to step up, be dads, and all that kind of stuff, and take charge and have resources and all that. I'm a 6-figure dude who got custody of my daughter. I would still get disrespected by her. I have to sit here and cut her fucking head off if she came on this live stream. You understand?
yeah, I do. I think she would do it because of the vitriol.
Nah, nah, nah.
I
I think
think,
it'd be nice because I've
and
seen her
maybe,
do it to nice
dude, I
dudes.
haven't followed her that much.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in and out from her
I've
channel
seen
because
those sisters over there disrespect dudes who are nice. They just disrespectful sisters. All right, that's it.
I've
Period.
seen it.
They're
No, I've seen it, brother.
they're,
I've seen it.
right now.
I'm not
I
caping
don't
for them.
listen. I don't disrespect people just for the fact of disrespecting them, Gab. All right. I would never
I could
disrespect you. You
tell.
haven't
I
done
could
anything to
tell.
you haven't done anything to me to disrespect you, brother. So I wouldn't disrespect you, just disrespect you. You see what I'm saying? There's no
No, I could
outside
tell.
reason. I will only disrespect you if disrespect was present. If you disrespect me and then I gotta like, yo, hold on, chill, brother, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
All
And you
right.
do it anyway, then we into some new shit. You know what I'm saying? But the shit over there, it's on site
I get it.
because they're disrespectful people. Period.
I feel
And
you.
I don't compromise with disrespect. Fuck
Okay.
them all the way. How about that?
Okay. Okay. No, I'm not gonna argue with you about your feelings. But for you, man of tomorrow, and it might be for the whole panel.
Mhm.
The way that we establish power is in our ability to unite and do the things necessary to govern our communities.
Yeah.
There are our children right now. Unless we can galvanize ourselves as men, they
Yeah.
will run over the community too. The young men and the young women.
Yeah. They already
So
have in a lot of
if
ways.
we're
Yeah.
men, right? So where are the men then?
They left. We've been left.
And so no, so what are we? Is what I'm saying.
All right, Gab.
I'm a black man, but I've
I'm
been
sorry,
left that
Gab.
damn shit.
So, Gab.
Yeah.
Again, brothers are not. Black men are not. They're not delivered in stalks. They're raised. I'm the way I am because I was raised by black women. I practice
So
group
that
economics
means
because my grandmother taught me that.
so
These
we're
women are not like my
conceding.
grandmother and aunts in them. I'm telling you what I was raised by. You see what
So
I'm
what's
saying?
the
They have
bottom line?
raised these dudes.
What's the net of it, brother?
The net of it is this. This is it. Ignore them bitches. Get with brothers. Develop a code. Go out here and start working with each other. Start doing
That's what I'm
business with
talking
each
about.
other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Only. I
that's
don't give a
it.
shit what they'll come along because that's leadership. When we start winning, they'll come along. They have no fucking choice. Where they gonna go?
You just made my point. I'm done. That's it.
Let me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm partly vexed because it sounds like we're trying to absolve like bullshit and fuckery in the hood and shit. Like we're trying to figure out this black bitch and she ain't trying to cope with us. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to absolve anybody. I'm not trying to work with anybody. I'm not trying to network with most of these niggas. I done stopped that shit a long time ago. The best thing for that you could teach any black boy or possible female is to, first of all, with that, we don't got no resources shit. I don't agree with that at all. Because honestly, every man is accountable for his own shit. You go to school, you pick up a trade, you go get a job, you do what the hell you got to do to build yourself up. If the proper
I
female,
accepted that. I
if the
accepted that.
proper female sees you, I'm tired of this "we shall overcome" collective mindset shit. Because ain't none of y'all were in the classroom, ain't none of y'all swore in when I swore in, ain't none of y'all did shit for me. And that's the problem that we're facing in the black community because we're being told that I got to take my resources and my funds and my money and I got to absorb this crazy bitch. No, I'm not doing that. If you want to play and you want to sit at my table, you got to get your shit together how the fuck I want you to get your shit together. I'm tired of this goddamn let's make agreements, let's make arrangements and shit. Y'all trying to keep up with the white man. The white man don't got your problem. But guess what? He done dropped this bitch. He's not dealing with her. You deal with her. And if you choose to deal with her, I've already dealt with a bunch of black women and men mad at me, but I said Jill Slut, look, that's what we calling her now, is sucking off, and she didn't give a fuck about her damn son. M.O.T was right there watching the whole shit. But this is what we're told, that we got to compromise with these motherfuckers. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. This is why I tell a lot of black boys, listen, go to school, go pick up a trade, pick up a skill. So that way you can decide, you can choose your own destiny. You can get the fuck out and choose the woman that fits your design. If she yields to you, then that's the woman that you want. But I ain't telling you go out here and absorb all these bitches. That's the problem. You got to hold these women to a fuel to the fire. That woman that
It's called standards.
It's damn right. It's called a fucking
standards. Is part of leadership.
I have a question for
What's your question?
B.M.T. B.M.T. When you said compromise, you talking about with the female?
I ain't
with the
I ain't
brothers?
compromising. Listen, I'm not compromising with no female. I ain't compromising with no Ray Ray and Pookie. I'm tired of black men
What
being told
about
that
the brothers on this panel?
compromising with them. If they want to work towards my goal and I work towards their goal, listen, Prophet had a message. I agreed with his message. I came on because I agreed his message aligns with my message. M.O.T's message aligns with my message.
That's fair.
Sean's message aligns with my message. If you don't align with my message, I don't fuck with you. It's that simple. This is this ain't no little game anymore.
Well, yeah, no, I agree. And as every man has a right to do that. I was trying to see. It sounds like we wanted to. I hear two different things. It sounds like some of us on the panel are talking about how to resolve things for the community. Like I'm doing what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? You're doing what you're talking about. It sounds like all the men are already doing something individual, but it sounded like you guys were trying to figure out how to solve things in the community to help save black youth of some kind.
Well,
so that it implies some kind of either unity, or we're just going to wait it out and do it one kid at a time.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there ain't gonna be no damn unity. That unity done died off when the last civil rights leader died off in 1978. Unity been died. There ain't no unity in the black community. There's only just factions. Your tribe versus my tribe. And if your tribe got what I need, we can probably talk about it at the river, and then you get the fuck on. There ain't no unity like that. Because then we got to deal with the simps, we got to deal with the Ray the Pookies, the betas, and then there's the men who say, fuck it, I'll just build on my own. Now, honestly, this is why I tell a lot of young men, just like I told that brother, I said, listen, you keep trying to go back and appease that crazy black bitch. You're stupid. What you need to do is lawyer the fuck up and you drag her ass. Anytime she fucks up like she's doing now, you write it down. You keep track of everything. See, this is the thing about you black men. Y'all keep trying to hey, the white man done fucked up our women. Okay, congratulations. We know that shit by now. I don't give a fuck what the white man do because I'm worried about me and whoever's in my fucking household. And until y'all learn that, listen, if you can't get your shit together, you can't talk about anything else. Jay Sean can talk his shit, but he got his woman. He got his daughter. So he runs his household. M.O.T can talk his shit, but he got his own shit going for himself. Prophet got his own shit. I got my own shit. I believe you got your own shit. I'm not trying to make people believe in my message. If you're not willing to meet me and come up to my standard, and see, that's the problem. Black men, black fathers are coming off of their platform and going down to the scrub tier bottom and trying to bring these people up. No. It's just like Prophet said from the beginning. Make this bitch go get a fucking job. If you ain't getting a job, keep your goddamn kid. Keep that motherfucker away from my kids. Tell that nigga, listen, are you gonna be in that kid's life? No, then stay the fuck away. Because all you're gonna do is fuck up that kid. We keep on trying to compromise with these motherfuckers. Everybody black ain't your motherfucking friend. I don't know why we keep saying this shit like we kumbaya, we all goody-goody. We're not. I'm trying to let y'all niggas know this. I'm not just Steven. I ain't mean to call y'all niggas. But I'm just getting fed up because I'm tired of compromising. It's like I told that boy, listen, take your ass to RTC, get up till you can become an E4, and you get the fuck out of this town. Guess what? He's graduating next year. He got a scholarship to get the fuck out of this town. I said, don't look back. Don't come back. He said, but what about my mama? Fuck your mama. Get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's right now, black boys are in survival mode. And if we don't start teaching these black boys, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You need a man to fuck up and accept, listen, this is how the world is. It's not pretty. I can teach you what you need, how to forge your own as a man. But listen, if you're looking for other people to join your camp, you got to have something going for yourself. That's how it works. Everybody should know that. You joined the Nation of Islam, but you saw they had something going for themselves. So you joined up with a pack. I work with Prophet, but Prophet has something going for himself. I work with M.O.T, but M.O.T has something going for himself. Jay Sean's my brother, but Jay Sean was with the system, and he knows how to buck back with these bitches.
All
but
day.
I'm not compromising anymore with these crazy motherfuckers. No, don't ask me to. I don't fuck with Cynthia. I don't fuck with a lot of these hair-headed bitches. I'm not doing it.
No, I get it, but I never I'm not.
I'm not saying you did, but I'm just saying that's just my standpoint.
No, but I don't even want you to insinuate like that. I'm trying to get anybody to compromise anything that they believe in. You know, if we're talking about solutions, I was just trying to figure out the best solutions that were on the table. And like I said, all of y'all are making individual good points, brother.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
See, my thing is this. I believe that the children are more important than these old mamas, okay? Because a lot of these old mamas, they already lost, okay? They're already lost. Most of them, let's be clear, we're not going to be able to save them, okay? Now, the children, and I say this a lot, this is a quote from Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass says that it's easier to raise strong children than it is to repair broken men. And what should have been part of it is repair broken men and broken ass women. Okay. So the children are more important than these old mamas. The children are more important than these old fathers. Now, the problem in Black society is this. Most of our children are being raised by these women. That's a statistical fact. It cannot be denied.
It's just reality. Yeah.
If we were to clog up the holes of all these women today and made it so none of them can have children anymore, we would still be stuck with a lot of children being raised by these old mamas. And I'm very biased against mamas. Very biased. Anybody who watch my stuff, they know I talk shit about these old mamas because I believe a lot of these old mamas ruin these children, destroy these children, allow these children to be molested, raped, abused. They spend money on hair, makeup, clothes, dresses, shoes, crap, while the kids suffer. Our children, 20% of them reading at grade level by the 4th grade. 20% of them doing math on grade level by the 4th grade. But when he's 3 and 4 and 5, he can cuss. He can recite Nicki Minaj lyrics. He can recite Jay-Z lyrics, Lil Wayne's lyrics. But little motherfucker go to school, he can't read, write, or count. How come? Where you learning that from? Where you learning how to cuss? Where you learning how to say ass, bitch, hoe, shit? Where you learning that from? But you go to school, your ass can't hold a pencil. Why not? When you was little, your mama wasn't reading you baby books. She wasn't teaching you numbers. She wasn't teaching you colors. She wasn't teaching you how to write your name, how to do your ABCs. Why not? She obviously taught you how to cuss. You know how to do that. See, that's the problem I have with these old mamas. Because, see, a lot of them have taken these children and they have turned these children into the dregs of society that we see today. And see, it's not instantaneous. We don't see it in real time. Because, see, these old mamas that's in the trap house every week while they're leaving their babies home by themselves, 15, 20 years from now, these are going to be the dudes on the block shooting folks in the head, stealing people's sneakers, stealing cars, knocking old ladies in the head, robbing liquor stores. See, it's never instantaneous, okay? Those 3 and 4-year-old kids that's being left home right now with their 9-year-old sister, 15 years from now, those going to be the brothers out there selling drugs, shooting folks, filling up the penitentiaries. And it's all due to the fact that these women are raising these children fucked up. That's what they're doing. Now, people will tell you, people will say, oh, well, you know, they're like this because, you know, the fathers aren't around. I disagree. What I think is this: if the fathers were in these children's lives, these children would be different. I know they would be different. These boys would be different. These girls would be different. They would change. Yes, they would change the way these children are. But they're not responsible for who they are. Their mamas is responsible for who they are because that's who they're around. That's where they learning life from. That's where they learning civility from, or lack thereof. That's where they learning how to be socialized, or lack thereof. That's how they learning about life skills, or lack thereof. It has nothing to do with their fathers.
Last time
their fathers are not in the picture. So you
last time I
that's
checked,
their father's fault, though, brother.
Doesn't Jill Scott have children?
No. Well,
That's
not in all cases. Not in all cases.
No, not in all cases, but
Not
in
in all
many cases, we being irresponsible too. Is all.
Yes,
that's okay. You're irresponsible. We shot the club. We're not talking about irresponsibility, though. We're talking about who's raising the kid.
We're talking about who raising.
You can't sidestep that.
Okay. You talking about
Last time I checked, Jill Scott has children, but she don't care about being on video mimicking sucking the dick and tickling balls. She don't care what her children sees. That's how most black women are. They don't give a fuck what their children see, and that's in the home.
And I think that people like Jill Scott, I mean, the only difference between them and some baby mama in the hood is she actually have enough money to take care of the kid.
She got talent,
yeah, she just happened to have enough money to take care of the kid. Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing that separates her from some chick living in the project somewhere and got her kids eating roaches. That's the only thing that separates them. She actually has resources to take care of the child. So
now here's the thing I want to say real quick, man. The reason why we even out here addressing this is because black women have come out to the public sector since the fucking 80s talking about how black men ain't shit. We're responding to something that's already been laid out. You don't get to throw rocks and hide your hand. All right? Sisters want to have blogs and Blabbity and The Root and all these other fucking publications throwing black men under the bus. Well, black men are here now. And we're talking now. And that's what this is right here. We're talking about where we're coming from and how we feel about what's going on and what we're going to do about it and how things are. I don't give a shit how they feel over there, to be honest with you. I don't give a shit how they have to feel. They don't have a right to talk about anything because Black women have built nothing. They're killing it in the game. They're getting more jobs. They're getting more educated. Okay, where's the institutions for our children? Mom, come on, mom. Come on, mothers. Where's your institutions? Everything has got to be, you know what I mean? You've been sitting out here having fun, going to the church, going to the club, going on girls' trips. Everything's been a fucking ball. While the children have been raised wayward. While the children have no respect. While the children have no life skills. Being a mom is supposed to be the paramount. But it's not. It's not. Running their fucking mouth is what's paramount. Playing fucking, watching Empire and loving hip hop and having all that shit on in their goddamn houses while their kids are running around at 3, 4, 5 years old, and you talking to me about being a man and where the men at?
Well, I'm gonna quote something that a friend of mine says all the time when I speak to her. She says that, and this friend is Sister Scheherazade Ali. She tells me all the time. She says, "X." She said a lot of women have it mixed up, brother. She says that women believe that raising a kid is giving them food, clothing, and shelter. And she says all the time, she's like, X, that's not raising a kid. She said that's giving a kid provisions, providing provisions for the kid, but that's not rearing the kid. She said usually a kid can learn more on the curb on the weekend with his father.
I was raised by the stop sign. That's right.
Yeah. He could be learn more on the curb on the weekend with his father than he could learn with his mother all month in the mansion. So what often happens is I think a lot of these women have a tendency to they raise these children without men around. And even if they have a hope that the man is going to come around, or say they don't have a hope, say they know that this dude is no good and he's not showing up, and she done called the father squad and we can't find him, say that's the case. She's called the father squad, we done looked for the brother, we can't find him. I think it is on her at that point to try to get some type of male structure in this child's life, whether it be her father, her brother, her uncle, a karate coach, a football coach. I think that it is definitely on her to get out there and try to find some type of male influence for this child, if you already know that this child's father has made it painfully obvious that he don't want to be bothered with the child. So now what's left? What's left is you. Okay, what's left is you. Like I said, you done call the father squad. We done look for the brother. We can't find him. So now it is upon you to try to make sure that this child gets some degree of male influence. Now, if you have a brother, if the brother is willing to be in the child's life and help you raise,
turn on those floodlights.
You have to, brother B.M.T, mute yourself.
That's the outside.
Mute your mic, man. Now, if the brother is willing to be in the child's life, it is also upon you to let that man be in said child's life as well. So it always comes back to it's always going to come back to the woman, because unfortunately we live in a society where women have more control over the children, especially if y'all are not married. If y'all are not married and she's just like your baby mama, she's already got the upper hand on you. That's why I fall in line with what Brother Jay Shine is saying. I mean, if you know that this chick ain't about nothing, okay, she just so trapped house hoe and she got 4 other babies by 4 other people, and you see how she take care of them. Now it is upon you, brother. Now it's upon you to step in and make sure that child don't suffer, because you already see what kind of mother he has. You already see how she does her other children. You already see how irresponsible she is. You already see how she doesn't give a damn about the children. So now it is up to you to make sure that your kid that you have by her, that you take that child and become responsible for that child, to keep that child from suffering under the same circumstances that her other children are suffering under. That's my point. I feel like brothers should be stepping in and taking these kids away from these
Left
women
and right.
anyway. Yeah, because see, a lot of these women, especially now, don't get me wrong. I know it's some women out there, you know, they do what they got to do to take care of their kids the right way. Big up to y'all. Keep up the good work. But boy, it's a whole hell of a lot of them out there that don't give a shit about these kids. We see it every day. You can pull up thousands of files on it on Google, YouTube, Facebook, and every goddamn thing else. I implore these brothers to go and get these kids, man. Because most of these women don't even want these kids, man. Go and get these kids, brothers. Raise these. Because let me tell you something. And I'm going to say this because this is how much confidence I have in the brothers as opposed to these old mamas. I think even if that's your first child, you will be a better parent with that first child of yours, even if you be a better parent than her and it's her fifth baby. This baby number 5 for her, but it'd be baby number 1 for you, and I still think you'll be a better parent because that's how much confidence I got in the brothers. Go ahead.
Plus, look, I told you before, X, I'm a black feminist. You understand? I'm believing in equality. I don't overlook bad behavior just because we're talking about females, and that's what we keep doing as black men. Just because they females they don't get absolved. You know what I mean? You don't just overlook their bad behavior. You don't get to slap me in the face and I gotta take it. You know what I mean? That's called assault. You don't get to abuse your children and I just say, nah, well, she's trying her best. No, fuck all that. Fuck all that, man. I watch women right now. If you threw B.M.T tickets up in the air right now, you'd be surprised on how organized they can get, how resourceful they can get. But when this motherfucker needs to go to a special school and he needs funds raised, all of a sudden, I can't do it. I can't. You see what I'm saying? Their priorities are fucked up. And they don't work with each other. We got the situation with sisters going into stores with their kids with them and they being disrespected by a whole nother group of people. What's that teaching your children? Let me give you an example. When I was in Savannah, Georgia, when I was a boy, my grandmother took me to Savannah. That's where my grandmother was from. Even though she was raising me in Brooklyn, we went down to Savannah to see family. And I remember being on in the main side of town, the white side of town, and she needed olive oil. And I was passing by a store and I said, "Hey, Nana, the olive oil in here." She said, "Hush, boy. We get that when we get to the other side of town." We get back to the other side of town. We go to a black store and we get the olive oil there. This wasn't some militant female. This was a down south Christian female from back in the day. And they practiced group economics. And I learned that from her. So what are women teaching their children now? So when you sit here and talk about black men working with black men, how are you going to work with black men when your mom has been doing nothing but spending money outside the community willy-nilly? Up in Chinese nail shops. She ain't even spend breaking bread with her sisters like that. There's so many lessons on so many levels that are missing because of how they living. And they got the kids. So my solution is go get your kids. That's my solution in a nutshell. If the mother's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, and if you got some sense about yourself, go get your kids. Now that's the question mark. Does the brother have sense for himself? Who was he raised by? You see what I'm saying? It's a fucking spiral.
We can solve this through ballot measures too, like wording things on the ballot so that way there aren't special programs out there to help women by default through the justice system. That's how they got on there.
Yeah,
it wasn't. But they didn't just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have to stop this systemic form of bioterrorism from happening.
Yeah, I like how you put that.
You can stop this. You can put an end to it in your generation. Because, like my grandfather told me, he was like, you know what? Can't save everybody, but every day I wake up, I'm going to make sure I'm going to be the last motherfucker who goes through this shit. Can't take everybody with you, but you can damn sure take control of your actions within this space. That's all we're saying. What we're saying is, here's the line in the sand. I know you're about 3,000 miles away from it, but know which line that you're on the side. The problem is that We don't have all this power to do all these things. There is no minimum set amount of collective black wealth that we can attain that's going to make these women all of a sudden act right. It isn't. It's from a form of disrespect, and it
Yeah.
cries out for action and order. Problem is that we have is there's a lot of sympathy that's being shown to people who don't need it. These people don't need sympathy. They need to not have any options. They have power because they have options. You take all their options and all their quote unquote toys away from them, now they don't have any power. But the
Mm.
problem is that they can't say that they don't know that being a single mother is hard, or her friends are single mothers. You
Yeah.
can't
Well,
know
how about
that.
she's saying it's hard and then she has another baby.
Yes, like, dude, there's so many times to where you take a child into the program, he's doing great. 4 months later, the stomach's back big, and she about to have another kid. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, man.
Ain't no
Like,
common sense. Got 30 forms of birth control, and we can't hold her accountable. That's crazy to me. You got
and
all this millions of dollars in R&D. You know what I'm saying? Research and development to find all kinds of ways to give you contraception so you can just fuck how you want and be a slut is all you want. And all you have to do is wear a patch, pill, shot, and you don't even do that. This is an irresponsible chick. Now, M.O.T, may I ask you a question, brother?
all right,
Because I haven't talked to you in a while, man. Nice to see you again, by the way.
yeah, same
Um,
here.
do you have any children?
No, I don't.
Not yet. Okay. All right. Are you married yet?
No.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to see what your situation was. So you out here looking at the game like, damn, you trying to find, you know what I'm saying, a happy spot, and it's hard.
No. I mean, I solved all this by deciding to have kids in a couple years. I'm going to
Mhm.
have my kids. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly what the feminists do. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have my kids do in vitro fertilization, and I'm going to cycle, quote unquote, fertility.
You gonna get a surrogate mother?
That is correct. Michael Jackson had it right.
That's
He
nice.
wanted to
That's
do
so good.
weird.
If I was a basketball player, that's what I would
Wow.
do. If I wanted children, I would
Wow.
just have surrogate moms. You know, what I mean? Fuck all these hoes, man. Like, you know, way in the world I'm paying a bitch $60,000 a month, or $20,000 a month, or $10,000 a month. I go
It's
spend
higher
$80,000 on
rate
a
of
surrogate mother and
TikTok
have my
behavior.
kid.
Well,
That is
let me ask Brother Gab Talk. What do you think about that, Brother Gab Talk? Like, um, us brothers, you know, we're very biased. Well, let me speak for myself because I'm biased. I'm
Oh,
biased as hell against these old mamas. Um, and you know, I'm married. I've been married for 17 years. I've been married to a very good woman for a long time. We were together a while before we got married, and we've been married for 17 years. And I wouldn't trade her for nothing. But
right,
it wasn't easy to find her. Now it's not like there was like this tree and it was full of them, and I just had
right,
my pick. You know, it
right.
took a while. Okay, I had to go through a few holes and hood rats and
Yeah.
heifers, you know, to find her that needle in a stack of needles. So let me ask you what you think about that. Far as brothers, you know, coming back, you know, even if it take the father squad to kind of nudge them a little bit and maybe threaten their life and have them
Hmm.
come back into the community and get these children and take care of these children and raise these children. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good thing if children can be put in a better situation by their dads or by fathers. Absolutely, absolutely. Any that goes both ways. Like anybody that's not setting up the proper scenario for the best, so a child can reach their highest and best use in his life. We should be weighing in on that. Absolutely. Did I give you
Telling
enough?
you. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's why I say, man, I wanted to talk this father squad shit tonight, man, because I think this could help. Now, is it the end all be all? Of course not. I mean, you know, it's not going to be the end all be all. But what if it was a group of brothers in every pocket of
Right.
poverty, a pocket, a group of brothers where, like I said, not only do we hold these fathers of these children feet to the fire, we
Mhm.
hold the damn mama feet to the fire too. Hey, yeah, we'll take the kid, we'll keep him at our program all day, but your black ass need to be looking for a job or you can't have him here. We'll
Right.
take him. We'll put him in. We'll put him into the class. We'll drive him to football practice. We'll do all of that. But your ass better not be having no other baby in 6 months. You know, I mean, we have to kind of put some rules on these people. We have to
Exactly.
do it. And the same with the brothers. We go to this brother and say, hey, look, man, you done knock this girl up. Do you want to be in this kid's life? If he say no, and we can't beat him into saying yes, we say, okay, then you just go ahead, sign off your parental rights, and get your ass out of this damn neighborhood. Because see, you can't be in this neighborhood if you don't want to be bothered with this kid.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
want to be bothered with the kid. Fine, get your ass out of this neighborhood. But
See,
in kind, go ahead,
mhm,
go ahead.
mhm.
But
No,
what I'm saying,
I'm cutting your wisdom. Go ahead, bro.
what I'm saying is, in kind, if we find the brother and the brother say, hey, look, man, you know, before the father squad beat me to a bloody pulp, I want to be in my child's life. She won't let me. So now we go back to her and we say, hey, look, this brother wants to be in his child life. You have to let him, or your ass got to get out of this neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it could almost be like an enforcement mechanism for
that's taking
folks.
responsibility right there to me, brother. Like that's being men. Like that's taking responsibility um as a collective, because what you're talking about is a collective.
Yep.
And I was listening to B.M.T. He may not be so hot on this particular idea. If I was listening to him, if I understood him correctly. But yes, sir. Like what you're doing is building a unit that demands something demands better for your community, and it's
Yep.
addressing both. It's balanced. It's
Yep.
addressing whoever is at fault here
Mm.
Yep.
and doing
Who's
something about it. So yeah, no, that's what's up. But again, like to BMT's credit, unity is a difficult thing to come by. Not many groups hang together that long. That's again, I refer to the Nation of Islam a lot. They seem to have found the secret sauce of being able to stay together for longer than a
I
few
mean, it's
years.
not really secret. It's religion. You know what I mean? You know, religion creates a culture and rules and, you know, and guidelines that you have to live by. The women have to dress a certain way, purport themselves a certain way. And that's just the way it is. So to call herself a Muslim woman, she has to purport herself this way. So it's religion that's the secret sauce.
Well,
It's not really secret sauce. It's religion.
well, that's the sauce then.
let, let me say the only reason why let me tell you why the Nation of Islam has outlasted Black Christianity. It's because they keep the dominance of the masculine man at the foot of the table, at the head. You're never gonna see no woman in front of a bunch of men in a mosque telling them what to do. You just ain't gonna never see.
Exactly.
You ain't
Come
gonna
on,
never see that
BMT.
shit.
They require the men to be men, but they don't do it the way you see chicks out here YouTube doing it.
If you go into a black church, you'll see a
Yep.
bunch of women running the building,
Running
doing
the
their own
pulpit.
damn
Yeah.
thing,
Talking crazy.
having their own code,
Dressing crazy. Acting crazy.
and you might have one man or two men old and who just bent over and gave up. So that's the only that it's
Facts.
just pretty much it's the order in things.
That's a great that goddamn it, BMT. That's a great goddamn comparison.
Listen, you've been around those, you be around those men long enough. You tend to watch stuff. Now the thing about it is, one, it's properly putting. You can't just put anybody in the position to run the shit. I don't think Jay Sean just lets any old Ray Ray and Pookie start mentoring over the boys. You got to be qualified. You got to be qualified. You got to bring something to the table to give these boys a goal to set out and go reach for. Whenever I go to the school, the reason why the young men come around me, but they say, you know what, Mr. Johnson, I need work. I need to make money. How can when you give them a goal when you give the youth something to go for and stretch out for, they'll follow you. Now, honestly, the only reason why these women come around it is they see women go towards power that they think that they can either somehow try to control and bend towards them, or they say, "Oh my goodness, my children don't buck back with this man. I wonder if I can get that kind of power in my household." You see, when they see that you're giving out that type of authority, they're gonna come to it. It's like moths to the flame. But when you have too many moths on the flame, it starts to eat at the flame. It starts to burn away at it. See, this is why you can't have everybody. This is why a lot y'all forget the 500 men that used to be in the 500 men of Detroit. What happened to them? Who ran them out? It wasn't no white man.
The sisters didn't. They wouldn't take no. They wouldn't take no. They wouldn't take the leadership. And that's the point I was making earlier. You have good brothers who come through, and this is the frustration that I have with the sisters, that when brothers like myself come through who got their shit together, there's still disrespect. There's still vitriol. When we talk about vitriol, the vitriol's on that side. What you have hearing over here is passion, real purpose. I care about my community. I care about the fucking children. I know the pain that's going on with the children. Why? Because the girls and the boys are under them hens.
The reason why, and this is the thing about it, and I get why the way how I sound when I say it, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to work with black men. I don't think we should work together. I didn't. What I'm saying is this: I can't work with you if you ain't got nothing to bring to the table. With me not, if you're a carpenter and I'm a plumber, we're gonna have to work together to build that house. Eventually, we got to sit down and look at the blueprints. Eventually, at some point, because your work is gonna have to come along with my work. And the problem is, we're bringing. This is why the black community is having so hard of a time for men to get their shit together, because you're trying to bring so many damn pieces of shit people onto the team that don't got nothing to do with your message.
Nope. No purpose, no nothing.
No purpose, no drive, no type of resources or shit.
Just out here and getting attention. And that's the problem with the black community. We give attention to the wrong motherfuckers all the time.
Yeah.
We've been doing this shit for 400 fucking years. Just giving the wrong motherfuckers attention.
Jason,
let me add on.
Go ahead, brother Gab. Go ahead.
I want to add on to so here's something I started looking at, because you brothers on the panel have particular expertise. I can hear it in your individual stories. So the way that you was just talking, B.M.T, you cannot, like, you get to set the rules for who helps you or who you allow to join your team, or who you want to be on a team with. You get to set those rules for yourself as a man. I think if we figure out what to do with the I don't know what to call the class that is not as skilled, the unskilled, the uncouth, and all of that. So as men, we got to figure out where to put them. So, for instance, when people go to jail, a lot of them join the Nation of Islam, right? Because they're so good at reform. Like, we got to figure out where the reform programs are, where you can say, hey, listen, you go serve in there for, a year or two, and you come back and holler at me, so that you can get the for lack of a better term, the Pookie and Ray out of us. And then you might have to say, brother, in order for you to work with me, you're going to have to do a year of these classes right here. You follow what I'm saying? And we have to figure out resources and all of that kind of stuff. But there's a way to work our community from one place to the next. And I'm not saying that you're responsible for those things, but we may be able to figure out the flow. Like, meaning, like, okay, these people are at this stage, at this skills level. Right. You need to go here and here first, and then you can come back and talk to us.
Now, Gab, I'm gonna ask you a question based on what you just said. I like what you just said. On the flow, let's control that flow. Yeah. I look. Do you consider our children as a resource?
Absolutely,
they're our future.
The greatest resource.
Exactly. So if they're being raised wayward, that has to be addressed. It has to. There's no way around it. It has to be addressed. And I'm sorry if it hurts the females' feelings, but I don't give a fuck about their feelings. Because if it was about our community, if they was on the same shit I was on, if they cared about our future, there would be no fucking fight. It would be no fight because these conversations devolve into tact and disrespecting black women, and you talk to me this way. It's about them. It's real selfish. If you really sit back and pay attention to what's coming out their mouth, bitches ain't shit. All right, these so-called mothers or soon-to-be mothers ain't shit. They don't have a nurturing, caring mother and bone in their body. See, back in the day when we had villages, back on the continent, we had something called the Queen Mother. All right. And the Queen Mother is what a king would bow down to. He would go and get advice and tutelage from the Queen Mother. And she earned that title. All right. We had a balance on that continent. It's the only place where you would see monuments of kings and their queens right next to each other in stone. There's no other place on the planet you would see that but on that continent. Because there was balance. All right. She was your woman was your senior advisor. But she was that because she was also a spiritual and she was a grounded female. This woman we dealing with right now is not spiritual or grounded. She's primal. She's only out here for her fun. Only out here for her fucking her desires. Only doing what she want to do. And then sitting back when it's all fucked up talking about where's the black men.
Right.
Black men ain't leading. Black men ain't doing this. Black men ain't doing that. And again, going back to that point I made a long time ago, early on the stream, if they wouldn't be doing that if everything was okay. If all their kids were getting A's and doing well and opening businesses and they had all these entrepreneurs going and all that kind of shit, there would be no reason to talk about black men not doing anything because there'd be no problems, right? So obviously, when you sit here and say, where's the black men? Where's this? Where's that? You're acknowledging there's a fucking issue. So let's talk about the issue.
Right.
That's all we're doing. We're talking about the issue. We didn't create this fire; they did. We're
several examples already. I mean,
I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna cut in and talk about this damn issue right here. I'm sitting here and I'm looking, and y'all know I like these two numbers to match. I don't like it when I got these many people in here, but I only got these many likes. You see that? These many people in here, but these many people likes. You got your black ass up in here. It only takes 2 seconds to move that hand over and hit that like button nice and slow. Get the likes up. And also, if you're feeling generous, throw a few coins in the bucket. You see right there? See where it's highlighted? It says the Prophet of Thought series. Donate here. Hit that old Streamlabs button. Drop $1 or $2 in the bucket. It's greatly appreciated. I'd actually prefer if you do that than do Super Chat, because when you drop it in Super Chat, goddamn YouTube takes about 25% of that shit. So you giving your money to YouTube. You're not giving it to the platform. So if you're going to donate, go ahead and donate through the old Streamlabs tab. Better yet, later on, I'll put the old PayPal link in there too for your convenience, because y'all are my people and y'all know that this is worth money. That's all. Carry on, brothers.
All right. We already have these examples already. Okay, the United States military take people from various backgrounds, and within 2 or 3 months, they turn them into killers. We're not trying to turn people into killers. We're trying to turn them into scholars and productive members of society, but we can't get people to line up and even allow their kids to be made better, because they know that at the end of the process, their power is based on those broken children. And I don't know how you get people who are breaking these children on purpose to buy into the simple fact that we're going to take your power away from you. Now, my part, by saying, you know what, I guess this is how it's going to be. I guess I can't mess with none of y'all. And I guess I'm going to figure out a strategy that's going to provide me 100% of what I want. Because by default, the system gives them 100% of what they want, regardless of how they act. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we got to be able to just figure out different strategies to just break this down. I mean, because, like they said, it's going to be a 2 or 3 generational process. Mm-hmm. Now, the manufacturing system that we have in the world is now at your fingertips. The selling of products is now at your fingertips. Now, all you have to do is keep your numbers down and be able to strategize and do things now. Like, those options was never here for us before. Like, with all this information here, you can turn your child into whatever you want to, as long as you control what they think about, what they look at, and what they digest as information. But when these people even refuse to take that basic level of responsibility and then complain about the results, I mean, if you planted peanuts, it's the summer. You got peanuts. You're expecting watermelons when you planted fucking peanuts? Like, this is the problem here. And we have people who want to make sure that their feelings are protected, even though the results are not protected. We have more sympathy for their feelings than the results that they're creating. Like,
Right.
I don't see this double-sided coin to where we have the level of vitriol for the results that they make, but don't have the vitriol for the creation process of the results that they make.
You know what's crazy, man? Tomorrow, you just said something really great, man. Feelings. First of all, there's a lot of these out here, not even the people we're talking about. They're not single mothers. Some of them married. Some don't have no kids at all. So we know. So how are we hurting their feelings? It's bullshit.
Yeah,
They just out here getting attention, man. You know, no skin in the game.
And the other part is that I don't see a path forward without something drastically happening. I mean, I guess we can. It was messed up on a per household by household basis, but I don't think you can fix it on a per household by household basis because of the creation mechanism that's in place. You know, you cannot smash up a machine the size of a systemic infection. You leave one crumb of this thing intact, and it's going to rebuild itself out of nothing to the current threat that it currently is. Like, I mean, I guess you could do it 1 or 2 kids at a time, but those 1 or 2 kids who are still under the matriarchy is going to create a whole new generation of people who's going to keep carrying that torch for the matriarchy. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to go into a biological arms race against their biological arms race, but I don't seem to think that there's any other choice. I mean, because I don't think that we should be in the business of outbreeding the matriarchy, but they're definitely outbreeding us. And now we're surrounded because we refuse to fight in the war that they waged on us and blackness and the community and all that kind of stuff. So this is just where it is from a military perspective. Like, I don't see how you eradicate this problem. I see the sliding scale still going in the other direction. And I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just saying that, like, hey, man, this is the reality. This is the facts on the ground. Make sure your people are straight. Make sure the things that you create from now on have a point. And make sure that whatever you create is going to be the best ever. Because, hey, you probably can't lead them, but hell, as long as you can control what they look at through black media in the future, you know, you could probably be able to get a handle on it.
Hey, brother, X, can I try something real quick? I want to show y'all something. X, if you don't mind, can I share my screen real quick?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, let me bring this over here. Hold on. Y'all got to see this shit. This is the type of shit I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen, and yeah, share. Okay, can y'all see this?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Yes, sir.
Can y'all see this?
Yeah, we can.
Told you it was gonna happen. I knew this shit was gonna happen. Yeah. I
Uh,
told you, M.O.T.
How long was that? 24 hours?
So
Yeah, nope. But you know what? They bashed me on my channel about this shit. They sure enough bashed me.
you know, you see what I'm saying? This is the bullshit that's going on out here, and we keep talking about what black men are not doing, but this is what sisters are doing.
That's a young girl.
This is a young girl, and you know, look, man, y'all can talk all you want about, you know, hold on, how you unshare the fucking screen?
You just gotta hit. You just gotta hit bottom. Yeah, just hit the bottom on Jay-Sean. Where it says,
Bottom one?
yeah, at the bottom right there at the top of your stuff, it's gonna say, do you want to stop it? And then you can hit stop.
Yeah,
Got it.
just
There we
hit.
go. Got it.
Just
Got it.
stop
Got it.
share.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, man. So anyway, my point is, God damn. But then, you know, this girl goes out here and has, you know, she involves herself in whore culture. And then, you know, everybody wants to talk about how it's the black man's fault that she's acting this way. It's the black men who have sex with her. It's their fault that she's acting this way. You see what I'm saying? It's not Jill Scott's fault. It's not her mother's fault. It's not the women around her who decide it's okay that she act this way, who don't check it. It's only our fault. And that's the shit I'm talking about, man. You know what I mean? This is some shit that came out. All the women in the crowd was screaming and hollering and laughing and enjoying. Yeah, girl. But that don't matter. And this is a woman. These are women with children. This is a woman on the stage with children. And look at her.
Well, what kind of society do we have as black folks? Let us be clear here, right? Now, you can be a young man, right? And your mama can have 9 of y'all by 9 different people. Your mama can be a drug addict, a hooker, a whore, a crackhead, a dopehead. She can leave y'all home by yourself. She can half feed you, half clothe you, half house you, and 3 of her boyfriends can rape some of y'all. And you know what we'll say? Mama did the best she could. That's what we'll say. But if your father does one thing, leave. All he ever did to most of these children was just leave their old black ass mama. He's a deadbeat. He's a villain. He's wrong. He ain't no good. He ain't shit. He ain't that. So what we have here is we have 2 standards. Now, I'm a true believer that maybe men shouldn't be compared to women on the same standard. I got it. But at the same time, we can't apply the same standards that we apply to a man. We can't turn around to apply. We can't apply these standards to a man and apply no standards to our old mamas. So we live.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we live in a world where these women do no wrong, especially if they by themselves, because that's the reason why they're doing all this wrong. They're by themselves. They don't have men. They're victims of all these guys who shot 8 babies in them. They're the victim. Okay, so we have given them this status of they can do no wrong. Everything that has went wrong in their life is because of these men. Everything that has went wrong in their life is because men have not taken them under their wing. When do we stop and say, hey, look, you are the ones being stuck with the children. So you have to make a conscious effort to, number one, stop bringing these children into these bad environments. Number 2, stop having these children by men who don't want these children, who don't want your ass. Okay? Because let us be clear. Let us be clear. I've talked about this before, right? And you always hear people talking about mommy shaming and all that. Why not? We do enough damn daddy shaming. But anyway, you have a woman. She has a baby by a brother, right? His brother knock her up. He bounce. He disappears. Fine. I give her that. She meets another brother. She has another baby. He knocks her up. He bounces, disappears. Fine. I give her that. Now, once we get to 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we cannot give you that anymore. All right. That's where the father squad would come in too. Because, see, we can't give you that anymore. We can't say, okay, we'll give you that. Because at some point, you have to figure out what the hell part you're taking in this whole scenario. Okay? At some point, we have to hold you accountable because you are the common denominator. You are the one thing that everybody else has in common. These men, these children, the only common factor is you. So at what point do we make you accountable for some of this shit too? I mean, forget what the brothers is doing. Okay, you study popping them out, popping them out, popping them out, popping them out. I saw a video the other day with a chick that had 11 kids, no husband, and she was pregnant. So do we give her all 12 of those kids? No, we can't. None of those kids' fathers around. All right. None of them got the same father. And my question would be to her is, goddamn, Where were the 2 when you was making 3? Where were the 3 when you were making number 4? Where were the 4 when you were making number 5? Where were the 5 when you were making number 6? I mean, when is all this happening? You got all these kids. How you squeezing all this time to be fucking? Well, you know, so you're talking about irresponsibility times 10 to the 10th power. So at some point, we have to call this what it is, man. Is there a lot of irresponsible brothers out there? Yes. But the thing is, these women, they finding themselves getting caught up with a very small percentage of black men who are quote unquote irresponsible. Do y'all know that most black men don't even have children? Only about 40% of black men have children. Y'all do realize that, right? And 67% of that 40% are active in those children's lives. That's 2/3. So you talking 1/3 of 40% of men are irresponsible. Comes out to about what? Comes out to about 13%. So you're talking 13% of black men who just irresponsible as hell. All right. What about the other 83%, the other 87%? These are responsible brothers, man, doing what they're supposed to do. But you will have these women tell you that it's all black men. It's most black men. It can't be most black men because most black men don't have children. Now, most black women have children. You know why? 80% of them got children. You know why? Because they all fucking the same dudes. They're all fucking the same dudes and having babies by the same dudes. So, like I said before, at what point do we say, hey, look, you need to do something about that old funky hole between your legs?
You see it all the time. Like Future got another baby mama now. Like we don't never question their behavior. How you baby mama number 7, number 8? Like this is ridiculous, man.
Because
there's no, like it's not even. It's not both sides. One side is being held accountable and being put in jail. You know what I mean? Getting a gun put on them, but because the law says you got to do X, Y, Z, and you got another one who just gets no fucking admonishment, none.
Exactly.
And they got kids.
Because we live in a world where women can do no wrong.
Yeah.
No matter how bad they are, they can do no wrong. And it's just the opposite for men. It's just the opposite for men because no matter how much a man does, he can never do no right. See, that's the problem. A man can never. You know how much a man has to do to be considered a good father? I mean, he has to be above and beyond to be considered a good father. If your mama do one good thing, she's a great mother. Forget all the other 9,000 things she did that was screwed up. If she did one good thing, made you lunch for school, one time in 8 years, she made you a lunch for school that one time. She's a she's a great mother because she made you that lunch that one time in 8 years.
One time, yeah.
Your father could work 2 jobs. Your father could sacrifice his dreams and goals for you. And you know what they say? Oh, well, that ain't nothing. That's what you were supposed to do. But this hoe ain't supposed to take care of you the right way. This hoe ain't supposed to raise you the right way. This hoe ain't supposed to teach you nothing. She ain't supposed to get you ready to go to school and learn. She's supposed to do none of that. Like I said, she make your ass a sandwich one time in 5 years. She's the damn queen mother. BS, man. That's the problem in black society with most of us, okay? Because you listen to these women. I know, because I know some of them. And they sit around and they talk about how they're a queen, an empress, a goddess, a fairy, a dragon, an elf, a dwarf, a soothsayer, a witch, and all so kind of nonsense. They sit around and they talk this magical, mystical nonsense all the time. And meanwhile, the damn kid's feet hanging out his damn shoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He barely eating, his head nappy, his face crusty, his clothes look like they ain't been washed in 6 months, but she's sitting around burning candles, telling you how she's this magical, mystical empress who can read your mind. Get the hell out of here with that nonsense. This is what's wrong. You have these people raising these children. These are the people raising them. They're raising them. And they're raising them without men. So I don't want to hear, oh, it's the men's fault. Bullshit. The men aren't there. The only thing that's the man's fault is the fact that he ain't there. That's his fault. But the way these kids are growing up and turning out, it's all got to do with these crazy witches, goddesses, empresses, tooth fairies, dragons, elves, dwarfs, and whatever the hell else they be calling the crazy selves.
Mm-hmm.
If you would think that they got all these magical powers, they should take their magical powers and make sure the damn kids eat. Make sure the damn old funky, nasty looking houses is cleaned up. Make sure the black ass could get out there and grind and work and do whatever they got to do to take care of these damn babies. How about you use your magical powers to read the mind of these damn fools who you're fucking and sucking all the time trying to get another one in your gut? So,
Damn.
you know, you freaking hear all this crap. You hear all this crap, and it all boils down to reasons to say, hey, I'm fucking irresponsible and it's not my fault. Get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Get the hell out of here. Let me ask you brothers this. Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all believe that in Black society, if we were to push the reset button, okay, we're gonna push the reset button and we say we're gonna reset Black society and make it right. When we push that reset button, what should happen? What should happen? In y'all opinion, what should pushing that reset button be?
Well, I mean, it should put the financial, economic, and the educational elite in charge, like it is in every other community before it becomes broken. Like if you were to set up the community like every other community is set up, this stuff, kind of like traffic, will process itself out eventually. It may take 3 or 4 generations, but the systemic problem is at the mouth of the river, so to say. So, I mean, all those things are good, but like I said, somehow you're going to have these women buy into the simple fact that they have to stop damaging and destroying the things that they claim they care about, because they don't, based on the actions that they do, and they really hate it. So that's what would have to happen. But you can do this now on a household by household basis. You know, you're not going to have a total fix, but you know, everyone like on this panel were to go off and not try to redeem a Chicago or anything else, but have a Popular Thoughts bill or a B.M.T bill or an M.O.T bill. If you be the head of that city, if you say what should and should not happen in your city, you can have it protected under the bigotries of religion. That's what religion allows you to do. It allows you to exclude people. So that way you could be able to gain a control over what you have. And that's the only way you could be able to solve the problem, is on an individual basis doing great things, not waiting on a great group of people to do great things. Take individuals.
Yeah. Man, tomorrow you muted up.
Yeah. I was done talking.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else? Brother Gab. Let me hear from Brother Gab. Let me see what Brother Gab got to say about this. Is he still there?
Well,
I would like my ideal challenged if anybody would want to challenge my idea.
I ain't gonna challenge you.
No.
I'm good.
No, I don't challenge that. So, Brother Jay Shine, I guess Brother Gab probably stepped away for a second. What would be your reset? What would your reset look like?
You know, look, I would just say again, man, look, brothers got, like Man of Tomorrow said, you got to start thinking more militarily. And the first thing you do as a military thinker, when you think militantly, is you got to deal with the facts on the ground. All right. We have a single mother issue. So there's going to be a mixed bag. You're going to meet some women, a handful, not many, that are actually good women. You know, they've gone above and beyond. They've fallen into a deficit, and they've climbed out of that deficit and created a great situation for themselves, and the kids behave well, and etc. But unfortunately, the majority black women they're just not good mothers right now, and it's a sliding scale. And we keep talking about men not being in the house, and the truth of it is it's not really true all the time. A lot of these women got boyfriends, they got stepdads there. You know what I mean? We really only trying to, we trying to. What's happening is we're trying to bash black men for the single mother issue, and we're trying to absolve the single mothers of their responsibility for their own womb. That's what's happening. It's their womb, and they don't want to be responsible for it. And a lot of these households are not just single mothers sitting up in there. There's a lot of boyfriends in there. There's a lot of there's a lot of stepdads in there. So this whole thing's a mixed bag. The problem is though, whether a man is married, whether he's a stepfather, uh, whether he's a boyfriend, we still allowing women to control how kids are being raised. All right. And that's the next level of this shit. I think we actually need to have a discussion about this because this is the next level, X. How are kids being raised, and what should be allowed in raising kids? You know what I mean? What should be some rules, in the household in raising children? And it's hard to challenge a lot of the sisters nowadays because as soon as you raise your voice, don't talk to them like that. But she can yell, but you can't. You see what I'm saying? Your authority is constantly challenged as a man, and that has to go away. You know what I mean? It has to go. We got to get back to some old school stuff. What kills me about a lot of sisters, they say, black men used to be like this. Black men used to be men. Black men used to take care of this and take care of that. Okay, that's old school shit. But you a new bitch. You not an old school chick. All right. I ain't never seen my grandmother run around twerking in the middle of the goddamn birthday party while the kids are there. I never seen her do that. I never seen my aunts do that. I never see my aunt show up to a basketball game or a football game with her tits and ass out. I never seen them do that. So don't ask for old school solutions or old school men when you a new bitch. And that's all I got to say about it, man. Look, fathers, brothers, if you want to be a father, make sure you establish yourself. Make sure you go about the business of dealing with the courts. You might have to petition first. Don't be afraid of it. It's the facts on the ground. It's just the environment we're in right now. You have no choice. If you want to be a father and you want your kids to be raised by you and have your influence, you want them to have, some goddamn peace of mind, then you're gonna have to go fight for them. Unfortunately, they've created a system where women really don't have to really fight. All they got to do is petition and then show up or not show up, and shit gets done for them. So you're gonna have to, get on your P's and Q's, man, and start fighting from where you are. Enough of that child support shit. Blotting that. Enough of that, not seeing your kids. Establish visitation order. Do something. Don't sit back and let her just do what she want to do. That has to stop. All right. And lastly, stop giving a fuck what they say and what they think. That's not leadership. There's nothing to compromise with over there. All right. Black women as a group have no right to complain about anything based on their behavior and how they purport themselves in the last 30, 40 fucking years. They can't have no right. None. I don't understand why this is even a debate. As if I didn't live through Freaknik, as if I didn't live through Greek Fest, as if I didn't live through Bayou Classics. They have no right. Like they were not here fucking in dicks left and right and getting pregnant. But they have no fucking right, and they have nothing with the resources that they have been given by the state or through child support or getting college tuition paid for them and all that, and getting a chance to get a good job. They have not done nothing with it but make themselves look more glamorous. And as we know, more glamorous in this society means white.
Yep. Anybody else? I know Brother Gab said he was falling asleep, so let me get a little last word from him before he go. Brother Gab.
Yes, sir. I might have missed some of that last talk right there, but I want to wrap it up like this, man. I appreciate the invite to the platform, brother. I'm glad to finally do it. I hope it's not the last. Some interesting points of views here and some interesting solutions on the table as well. I think the best that I can say for us is to focus on your goals as an individual and as a community, and continuously seek ways to work with your community so that we can help you along the way. There are those, because that's what the fishing is all about. You can fish to find those of like minds, like the brother B.M.T was talking about. You find those like minds, man, and go about things in in a productive way so that we can make things happen. I'm one who believes in have not lost faith in either the black men or the black women. So I will continuously try to seek ways to, I'm that peacemaker, man. I'm that bridge to the extent possible. It's just a part of my training, and that's kind of that will be my role. And then maybe a year from now or a couple of months from now, you say, hey, you got anybody that can help me on that business venture, you know, and I can be of use. I can say, hey, I got somebody who's able to help you on whatever endeavor it is that you want to carry out. And I might be able to reach into the bucket and reform somebody, to that can be of use and of benefit, but they got a little dust on them from the world, and that's, a lot of people, that's wishful thinking, but we in a sad predicament, I think, in many ways, but there's a lot of genius in us too, as well. So I'll close out with that, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all's ideas, man. It gave me a lot to think about. Y'all will see me around YouTube, man, hopping around. I'm figuring it out. I'm listening more than I am talking. I'm gonna start doing a little bit more of that.
Well, I can say this, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. I know I've been chasing after you for a couple weeks because I like to have different points of view. It's actually pretty mild on here tonight because only a few of the usual suspects are here. I mean,
this was mild, man.
Oh
this
yeah,
is
this is very mild. This is mild. This is one of the milder DXLs. Because
I'm outgunned over here, bro.
They get hammed up over here, boy. I told you a lot of the usual suspects on here, like Brother Info Man, Obsidian, people like that are on here tonight.
Yeah.
Going in here.
Kevin Samuel. So, it's relatively mild tonight. I know that's hard to believe, but it's relatively mild tonight. So you gotta swing on around on one of them ham, boy.
Yes, sir.
AM1, he be on here too. Brother AM1's been on here a few times as well. So
shout out to AM1.
Yeah, these DXLs, man, they get a little wild, they get a little crazy, but we have brothers of all stripes come up here. We have Republicans, we have conservatives, we have liberals, we have all types of people come up on here, man. It's a mixture. So, I mean, sir. You may have a few different point of views. Don't even worry about it, man. You're among a lot of different point of views. So you're always welcome at the OTPOT YouTube page, brother. Always.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all.
Can I say something to Gab too? Like, it's respect, brother, because the truth of the matter is, not millions of black men are not even caring about the issues right now. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you're here, you know what I mean? Big ups to you. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yes, sir.
You care. You give a shit enough to be out here on a live stream 12:22 in the fucking morning.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you too, brother.
All right. Really. That's what's up. Hey, X, man, I might have to jump off here in a minute, man.
Yeah, I'm about to close out, because we done went all up overtime. I usually close out around midnight, but I'm gonna swing on around to Brother B.M.T and give him a closing thought if he got something he want to close out with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see it's getting late. My wife is staring at me. So honestly, I would just tell y'all, if you really want to restart button, the best thing you're gonna do is you gotta be willing to go at it alone at first. Nobody's gonna follow you if you can't put together your own plan that you're talking about. That big brother thing that Jay Shine is doing, if he can't show that, hey, I'm a successful black man and I'm stepping out, those young black men are not gonna get behind him. They're gonna look at him, they're gonna check out. Black boys check out men. And if they don't see you doing anything worth a damn, they're like the Lost Boys in Peter Pan. They just go off and do their own thing until they find their Rufio. And the thing about it, y'all want to understand now, if y'all really want to fix the black community, if we had a reset button for the black community, the first thing I would do is I would have controlled breeding. I'm dead. I'm so serious. I would have controlled breeding because right now the breeding population, everybody is not meant to breed. Back then, if you wanted to get a suitor, you had to. If you went to the father's house and you was a male trying to get the girl, the father would ask you straight up, "What do you got going for yourself, boy? Do you have a job? Do you have a house? Do you have land?" And if you couldn't answer those questions, you couldn't talk to his daughter. You couldn't ask for her hand. Because if you couldn't provide nothing, then you can't have a woman. You're not authorized to a woman. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to have a woman because you got to provide a service. You got to provide for yourself first. So this is why I try to tell a lot of young men, listen, until you can provide for yourself, you can stand alone by yourself, you can do for yourself, you don't need to think about a woman. When we can start teaching young men how to do that, the women will have to understand, whoa, if I want that man, I got to have something worth him looking at me for. Back then, being pretty wasn't enough. You had to be able to cook, clean, help gut that hog and fry up the chitlins and get all that stuff good and ready. And that's the problem we don't got now. We used to be able to we used to have control like, hey, you can't talk to my kids until get your grades up. We don't do that no more. We don't pay attention to the small little details. And because we don't, now they've grown into big problems. They found out once you take the man out of the household, once you take the protector out, the provider out, guess what? She went to white daddy's system. Because white daddy provided what the black man was supposed to provide. Home, shelter, discipline, finances. He's doing it now. And mind you, the system wasn't even made for black people. It was made for white people. It's just that they understood the best way to cripple y'all was separate y'all from the family. So this is why I try to tell a lot of black men, tell these black boys, listen, you got to separate. If you want to reform them, get them away from the system that is already corrupting them, the black community. Get them out of that. Let them build themselves up. I had to leave my town, get my money up, restructure my mind. Then I went back. And when I went back, I only went there just to go get a plate from grandma's house and get the hell out of there. That was it. So other than that, I'm thankful for being on Prophet X series. Y'all like the channel. Y'all support the brother, man. Prophet be putting out some good shows for y'all. Jay Shine be going hard for y'all. M.O.T, I'm glad he came out. I just come here to support my big brother. So I'm about to get off.
M.O.T, man, that was a pleasant surprise. I ain't expecting M.O.T to come up today.
Yeah, well, he pops in. You know, he's one of the usual suspects. He's one of the usual suspects. There's plenty of usual suspects, you know, that come through the annals of TPOT. I want to thank all of y'all for showing up tonight, all the good brothers. You know, I'm just gonna close out with this, man. When we talk about fathers, aka daddies, we know in Black society that a lot of them are missing, but we also know inside Black society that a lot of them are there. They are present, and they're doing a damn good job. They're doing a better job than most fathers are, whether or not they live with the kid or not, despite of what people are telling you, okay? Despite of what they're telling you. So keep that in mind as well. But what you also need to keep in mind is this. We often hear how horrible Black men are. We often hear how no good Black men are, how lazy they are, and how ineffective they are, and how they're not fighting the white supremacy boogeyman. I tell you this, a lot of that shit is bullshit too, because I know plenty of family man. I know plenty of brothers who are doing what they're supposed to do, not just for themselves, but for their children. And the reason why they're doing that is because these are Black men of consequence. Now, when you talk about the Black men that ain't this and ain't that, you're talking about the Black men who are not of consequence. So I think we need to start making that distinction. You know how when people say things about women, they always want you to throw in that old, not all, not all. I think when we talk about Black men, we need to be doing the same thing, or just not talk about them at all. Get it? Who's your daddy? Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Also, I need y'all to get on down there to the old Prophet of Thought series Facebook page. That's Prophet of Thought, one word, series, the second word. Get on down there, the Prophet of Thought series Facebook page. Like the page, share the page, follow the page. You can always get up on there and find out what's going on with me and what's going on with the old TPOT platform. Also, get on down there to the TPOT bandwagon page on Facebook. That's right. The TPOT bandwagon page on Facebook is a personal page. You can actually send that page a friend request, and I'll make sure that that friend's request gets confirmed quickly. And while you're doing that, you might as well scoot on over to the Prophet of Thought series fan group page. That's right, the Prophet of Thought series fan group page on Facebook. Go ahead, request to be a member. You guaranteed to get accepted quick. There's plenty of people down there. There's always some good stuff down there. They're always posting stuff down there. So go ahead, request to be a member. I'll make sure you get up in there. If you can't get in there, please write me, let me know. I'll get on my admins and I'll make sure that they put you up in there, because I have had a few people write me and say, "Oh, X, I can't get in the group." But don't worry about it. I'll take care of it, because I don't admin the group. Okay, I'm not the admin. You know, my wife and them, they admin all that. I don't have nothing to do with that. But I can go ahead and tell them, hey, look, let such and such in the group. So if you're having a problem getting in there, just hit me up with an email. I'll make sure you can get in the group. Go ahead, check it out. The Prophet of Thought series fan group page on Facebook. There's always some good shit down there. People are always posting. Like I always say, it's a fan page. So you ain't just got to listen to X bump his gums all the time. It's other people down there bumping their gums too. Also, check us out on WhatsApp and Instagram. That's right. It's the Prophet of Thought on Instagram. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram. You're guaranteed to get a follow back. Also, here we go again, people. Here we go again. Get your black behinds down there on Twitter. Their Twitter handle is at TPOT Media on Twitter. That's at TPOT Media on Twitter. Get on down there. Follow us on Twitter, or I will haunt your damn dreams for the rest of 2018. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank my mods in the chat, always doing what they're supposed to do. I want to thank everybody for go ahead and contributing to the chat room and throwing some questions and comments in there. Also, I want to thank you for coming out and watching us and spending some time with us. It's always a pleasure to have your support of the old TPOT YouTube page. Next week, I know we haven't been doing Wednesday night shows, y'all, but next week we're going to be doing a Wednesday night show. I'm going to have B.M.T on here. That's BYETYE, B.M.T. They are an organization that goes out and they fight poverty in the streets. They are very, very, very insightful, interesting people. I think y'all going to enjoy them. I just booked them for next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, we actually going to be doing a show. I'm going to have a really good guest for y'all next week. B.M.T is going to be right here in the house on the TPOT YouTube page Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And you know, of course, Thursday is going to be DXL on the TPOT YouTube page. But anyway, I want to thank my most esteemed panel tonight, Brother M.O.T, Brother GabTalk, Brother J Shine, and Brother B.M.T for making this a very, very, very interesting conversation. I will see y'all back here next week. Remember, Wednesday, we're going to have B.M.T on, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And once again, I want to thank you for coming out and spending some time with us. So, with that, I will leave you with 3 words. Like I always do, open your minds. And we are out of here, y'all. Peace, folks.